Hi everyone. So in this video we're going to discuss about all the quantitative aptitude questions from the IPMAT 2023 previous year paper. So we are taking all the quants questions which are there. There are roughly around 45 questions in this section from IPMAT 2023. We will discuss each question one by one, and we'll discuss. We'll have a detailed solution, solution to all the questions. So before starting to this, I just want you to know that we are at Krakow. We are providing free IPMAT mock test, and we are covering other exams as well. We are providing mock tests for GIPMAT as well, for IMK, BMS, and for all the other under IPMAT Rohtak as well, and for all the undergraduate examinations which is taking admits for the BBS courses. So we are providing all of these free of cost. Just Google search Krakow IPMAT mock tests, and you will be redirected to the link, and it is highly advisable that you just give it a try. It is going to be very helpful, very beneficial for you. So do give the test. All of these tests are available free of cost for you, and there are more than 10 plus IPMAT mock tests which we have already released, and all these mock tests are being made as per the basis of the last 5 years IPMAT real previous year papers. So we have referred to that, so that basically we can just replicate what is being asked in the actual examination. So do try these mocks. Also, we are providing content for IPMAT, GIPMAT, and IIM Rohtak, IMK, BMS, Christ University, and for all the exams we are providing the content, and this is available free of cost. So do check out this. Just Google search Krakow IPMAT, and you will be redirected to the page. Also, similar to this, we have already provided solutions for IPMAT 2024 and IPMAT 2025. Now we will also provide solutions for GIPMAT, previous year GIPMAT papers, IPMAT, IIM Rohtak papers, and we are also providing, we'll also provide solutions for Christ University, and all the other exams we'll cover as well. So I'll request you to subscribe the channel, and please stay updated with us. We are posting these videos on a constant regular basis. So stay updated with us. We will be posting these videos on a weekly basis, where we will cover one exam on a weekly basis. So with that, just give the Krakow IPMAT mock test. Do check where do you stand, and check your standings, basically like how well are you prepared for the examination. So with that, let's start the video. So first we'll discuss about all the integer type questions. So we have 15 integer type questions or short answer questions which are set in IPMAT examination. Then we'll look at all the 30 MCQ questions. So let's look at the this short answer type questions. So first question is saying, it is given that if f of 1 is equal to 1 and f of n is equal to 3n minus f of n minus 1 for all integers n greater than 1, we have to find out the value of f of 2023. So what we'll do, we'll simplify this equation. F of n plus f of n minus 1 is equal to 3n. Now, if we put the value of n is equal to, because you have to take n greater than 1. So now we have f of 1 is equal to 1. Now let's find out if n is equal to 2, f of 2 plus f of 1 should be equal to 3 into 2, which is 6. Now f of 1 is 1, so f of 2 I can write, it will be 5. Now if n is equal to 3, f of 3 plus f of 2 should be equal to 9. Now f of 2 is 5, so f of 3 will be 4. Similarly, if I put n is equal to 4, f of 4 plus f of 3 will be 12, and therefore f of 4 will be 8. Now if I put n is equal to 5, we will see f of 5 plus f of 4 is equal to 15, and thus I'll get f of 5 is equal to 7. Similarly, further goes, f of 6 will be equal to 11. F of 6 will be equal to 11. Now, if we see, we can see a pattern. For odd numbers, that is n is equal to 1, n is equal to 3, and n is equal to 5, we can see 1, 4, 7. There is some AP which is being created. Now, this can be written as, 1 can be written as 3 into 1 minus 1 by 2 plus 1. Because if n is equal to 1, 1 minus 1 is 0, 3 into 0 is 0, and 0 plus 1 is 1. Similarly, this 4 can be written as 3 into 3 minus 1 by 2 plus 1. So this will be equal to 3 minus 1 is 2, 2 divided by 2 is 1, so 3 into 1 plus 1 is 4. Similarly, this 7 can be written as 3 into n, here n is 5, so 5 minus 1 by 2 plus 1. because 5 minus 1 is 4, 4 divided by 2 is 2, and 2 into 3 is 6, and 6 plus 1 is 7. So we can say for any odd number, let's say if this is for 1, 3, 5, and we have to ultimately find the value of f of 2, 0, 2, 3. So I can write f of n for if n is equal to odd. If n is odd, then f of n is equal to 3 into n minus 1 by 2 plus 1. Thus, if I have to find out the value of f of 2023, this will be equal to 3 into 2023 minus 1 divided by 2 plus 1. This is equal to 2023 minus 1 is 2022 and divided by 2 is 1011. So 3 into 1011 plus 1, which is equal to 3033 plus 1, which is 3034. So f of 2023 will be equal to 3034, and thus I can say the value of f of 2023 will be 3034. The next question says Amisha can complete a piece of particular task in 20 days. So let's say Amisha's efficiency is A. Now Amisha can complete this particular task in 20 days. So this is total work will be 20A. If her efficiency is A units per day, total work will be 20A because it is done in 20 days. After working for 4 days, she felt sick for 4 days and resumed work on the 9th day. So she worked for the first 4 days. So for the first 4 days, she worked. So in this time, the total work will be 4 into A. Then for the next 4 days, she felt sick, so she was not able to work. And on the 9th day, and resumed the work on the 9th day. So after this, she resumed the work on the 9th day, but with half of her original work rate. So she is working now with A by 2 efficiency, and she has started now. She completed the task in another 12 days. So this thing is completed in 12 days. The overall task, which is this 28 task, is done in this entire 12 days time period with the help of a co-worker who joined her from the 9th day. So from this 9th day, there was one more co-worker who joined her. So thus I can say, let's say her efficiency, the co-worker's efficiency is B units per day. The co-worker's efficiency is B units per day. So A by 2 plus B multiplied by 12. So in this time period, there was no work. This is 4A, then no work, and then A by 2 plus B into 12. This should be equal to 20A. So thus I can write 4A plus, if I solve this equation, it will be 6A plus 12B should be equal to 20A. Solving this equation, it will give us 12B is equal to 20A. This will be 10A. So 20A minus 10A is 10A. So 12B is equal to 10A, or I can write B is equal to 5A by 6. We need to find out the number of days required for the co-worker to complete the task alone. So the co-worker should complete the task alone. So what is the total task? The task is 20A units of work, and efficiency of co-worker is 5A by 6 units per day. So number of days alone taken by co-worker, number of days working alone will be equal to, what is the task? Task is 20A, and what is the efficiency? Efficiency is 5A by 6. So 20A divided by 5A by 6, this will be equal to roughly 24 days. This will be equal to 24 days, and therefore I can say option, so this is a short answer type question. So the number of days taken will be 24 days. The co-worker will take 24 days when he is working alone. The next question is saying if f of n is equal to 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus dash up to n plus 1. Basically f of n is sum of first n plus 1 natural numbers. So I'll just write this out. F of n will be equal to sum of first n natural numbers is n into n plus 1 by 2. Now this is sum of first n plus 1 natural numbers. So this will be equal to n plus 1 into n plus 2 divided by 2. So this is f of n. And Gn is equal to summation of 1 upon f of k from k is equal to 1 to n. Now the least value of n for which Gn exceeds the value 99 by 100. So Gn has to be greater than 99 by 100. We have to find out the value of n where Gn is greater than 99 by 100. Now we have Gn is equals to summation of k is equal to 1 to n 1 upon f of k. So 1 upon f of k will be equal to 2 upon k plus 1 into k plus 2. So now we can take 2 common. So 2 into summation of 1 upon k plus 1 into 1 upon k plus 2. We can write it as 1 upon k plus 1 minus 1 upon k plus 2, where k is equal to 1 to n. Now we can further sum this up as 2 summation of, now we'll put the values of k is equal to 1 up till n, so it will be something like 1 upon 2 minus 1 upon 3 plus 1 upon 3 minus 1 upon 4 plus 1 upon 4 minus 1 upon 5, and this pattern will continue up till plus 1 upon n plus 1 minus 1 upon n plus 2. Now this 1 upon 3 minus 1 upon 3 will be cancelled, 1 upon 4 minus 1 upon 4 minus 1 upon 5, everything will be cancelled, and ultimately we will be left with 2 into 1 by 2 minus 1 upon n plus 2. Now this value is basically for Gn, and it is given that Gn should be greater than 99 by 100. So this value should be greater than 99 by 100. So if I further solve this, this will be equal to 1 minus 2 upon n plus 2 should be greater than 99 by 100. That implies if I take this to the left hand side and this to the right hand side, I'll get 2 upon n plus 2 less than, because this will be in the left hand side, 1 minus 99 by 100. Further, 2 upon n plus 2 should be less than 1 upon 100. If I further solve this, this will be equal to 200 will be less than n plus 2, or I can write n should be greater than 198. Now n should be greater than 198, and we need to find out the least possible value of n such that Gn exceeds 99 by 100. So if I have to find out the value of n greater than 198, so the next value which is the least is 199. Thus I can say the value of n should be 199, and therefore I can say value of n will be 199. The next question is saying, in an election with only 2 contesting candidates, 15% of the voters did not turn up to vote and 50 voters cast invalid votes. So we have, let's say, total number of voters as 100x. Voters as 100x, 15% of votes did not turn up. So did not turn up, so did not come to voting was 15%. So 15x didn't come for vote. So the remaining are 85x who came for vote. And out of these 85x, 50 voters cast invalid votes. So out of these, invalid votes were 50. Thus I can say the valid votes were only 85x minus 50. It is known that 44% of all the voters in the voting list voted for the winner. So from all the voters on the voting list, 100x were the people who were on the voter list. Out of this, 44x voted for winner. So winner got 44x. This definitely means that loser will get, because only valid votes are counted. So loser will get 85x minus 50 minus 44x. So this will be equal to 41x minus 50. If the winner got 200 more votes than the other candidate, so this winner has got 200 more votes than the other candidate. So this means 44x is equals to 41x minus 50 plus 200 more than the losing candidate. So this will be equal to 3x is equal to 200 minus 50, which is 150, and this implies x will be equal to 50. X will be equal to 50. Then the number of voters in the voting list will be, so there were initially I assumed that there are 100x votes and x is 50. So total number of votes will be 100 into 50, which is equal to 5000 votes. This will be equal to 5000 votes, and thus this is the correct answer. The total number of positive integer solutions of 21 less than equal to a plus b plus c less than equal to 25. So positive integer solutions means a is greater than 0, b is greater than 0, and c is greater than 0. Now we know the PNC formula for this, which is if we have to divide n things among r people, so that each people can get either 0 or more number of items, then basically we can use the formula n plus r minus 1 c r minus 1. Now a greater than 0, or this we can write it as a greater than equal to 1, b greater than equal to 1, and c greater than equal to 1, and a, b, c are integers. So instead of a, what I can write k plus 1. I can write a as k plus 1, b as n plus 1, and c as m plus 1, and in this k is greater than equal to 0, l is greater than equal to 0, and m is greater than equal to 0. So this can take either 0 or more values. With this we can apply the formula. If I substitute in this equation, if I substitute the value of a, b, c with k, l, m, we can apply the direct formula, which is n plus r minus 1 c r minus 1. Thus if I write 21 less than equal to k plus 1 plus l plus 1 plus m plus 1 less than equal to 25. So k plus l plus m is less than equal to 18 and greater than equal to 18 and less than equal to 22. Now we have k plus m from 18 to 22. So there are multiple cases possible, which is k plus m, l plus m is equal to 18. Then the number of solutions will be n plus r minus 1, c r minus 1, n 18, r 3. So 18 plus 3 minus 1, c3 minus 1, this will be equal to 20 c2, or I can write 190. Then the next will be k plus l plus m is equal to 19. So again 19 plus 3 minus 1, c3 minus 1. The formula is n plus r minus 1, c r minus 1, where n represents the number of things which needs to be distributed and r represents the number of persons in which this needs to be distributed. So 21 c2 is roughly around 210. Then k plus l plus m can be 20 as well. So again 20 plus 3 minus 1, c3 minus 1, which is 22 c2, and this will be roughly around 231. Then we have k plus l plus m is equal to 21 as well. So 21 plus 3 minus 1, c3 minus 1, this will be equal to 23 c2, or I can write 253. And k plus l plus m can be 22 as well. So from 18 till 22, any integer value is possible. Thus I can write 22 plus 3 minus 1, c3 minus 1. This is equal to 24 c2, or I can also write it as 276. This can also be written as 276. Now this sum is 400. This sum is 484, and this is 276. Now 276 plus 484 will be equal to 760, and 760 plus 400, this will be equal to 1160. So thus I can say there are 1160 number of positive integers which are possible for this equation, and therefore I can say the number of positive integer solutions is 1160. And the next question is saying if three consecutive coefficients in the expansion of x plus y to the whole power n are in the ratio 1:9:63, then the value of n is. So let's say the three consecutive, since it is consecutive coefficients, so let's say the consecutive coefficients are NCR minus 1, NCR, and NCR plus 1. Since the coefficient of x and y are 1, so we don't have to worry about whether there will be any other coefficient other than this. So these are the three coefficients. The ratio of the first two coefficients is 1:9. So I can write n factorial upon n minus r plus 1 factorial into r minus 1 factorial divided by n factorial upon n minus r factorial into r factorial. This will be equal to 1 upon 9. This n and n get cancelled. This will be only r, and this will be only n minus r plus 1. So I can write r upon n minus r plus 1 will be equal to 1 upon 9, or I can write 9r is equals to n minus r plus 1, or n is equals to 10r minus 1. So this is my first equation. N is equal to 10r minus 1. If I compare these two coefficients, the ratio is 9:63, or I can write this as 1:7. Thus, if I compare the second and the third coefficients, this will be n factorial upon n minus r factorial into r factorial divided by n factorial upon n minus r minus 1 factorial into r plus 1 factorial, which is NCR is to NCR plus 1, and this is 1 upon 7. So this is 1 upon 7. So n factorial get cancelled. This will be n minus r, and this will be r plus 1. So I can write r plus 1 upon n minus r. This will be equal to 1 upon 7, or I can write 7r plus 7 will be equals to n minus r, or 8r plus 7 is equal to n. Now this value of n we will put from equation 1. So 8r plus 7, this will be equal to 10r minus 1. Thus, if I take this to the right hand side and this to the left hand side, I'll get 2r is equal to 8, or implies r is equal to 4. Thus, r is equal to 4. If I can put the value of r is equal to 4 here, I'll get the value of n is equal to 10 into 4, which is 40 minus 1. So n is equal to 30. N is equal to 39. Even if I put the value of r is equal to 4 here, I'll also get n is equal to 39. The question is asking, then the value of n is, so n is value is 39, and therefore 39 will be the correct answer. The polynomial 4x to the power 10 minus x power 9, 3x 8 minus 5x 7, cx 6, 2x 5, x 4, x cube minus 4x square plus 6x minus 2, when divided by x minus 1 leaves a remainder 2, then the value of c plus 6. So we can use the remainder theorem here. So remainder theorem says that if you have a polynomial f of x which leaves a remainder, which when divided by when divided by x minus a leaves remainder b. If this is the case, that is f of x, any polynomial which when divided by x minus a leaves remainder b, then we can say f of a is equal to b. So in the similar case, if I say this is my entire f of x, if this is my entire f of x and it is divided by x minus 1, so my a is equal to 1. So a is equal to 1, leaves a remainder of 2, so f b is equal to 2. For this f of x, f of a should be b, so f of 1 should be equal to 2. So if I put x is equal to 1, what I am getting? If I consider this as fx, f is and x is equal to 1, I am getting 4 minus 1 plus 3 minus 5 plus c plus 2 minus 1 plus 1 minus 4 plus 6 minus 2. This should be equal to 2. Now this 4 and minus 4 get cancelled, minus 1 plus 1 get cancelled, minus 1 plus 3 is 2, 2 minus 5, this is minus 3, minus 3 plus 2 is minus 1, and minus 1 minus 2 is minus 3, and minus 3 plus 6 is plus 3. So I can write c plus 3 is equal to 2, or c is equal to 2 minus 3, which is equal to minus 1. If c is equal to minus 1, we have to find out the value of c plus 6. So thus I can say c plus 6 will be equal to minus 1 plus 6. So c plus 6 will be equal to 5. C plus 6 will be equal to 5, and therefore I can say the value of c plus 6 will be equal to 5. The next question is saying the product of the roots of the equation log base 2, 2 log 2 to the power log 2x ka whole square minus 5 log x to the base 2 plus 6 is equal to 0. So we have to find out the product of the roots of the equation. Now this is log 2 to this power I can bring out, and log 2 to the base 2 will be 1. So this can be simplified to log x to square minus 5 log x to the base 2 remains the same plus 6 should be equal to 0. Now let's assume log x to the base 2 as t, log x to the base 2 as t. So I can write t square minus 5t plus 6 is equal to 0. So this can be written as t minus 2 into t minus 3 is equal to 0, and thus there are two possible solutions, either t is equal to 2 or t is equal to 3. Now what was t? T initially was log x to the base 2. Thus I can write log x to the base 2 is equal to 2. If t is equal to 2, log x to the base 2 is equal to 2, or log x to the base 2 is equal to 3. So there are two possible roots of the equation. Now we know log a to the base b is equal to c, then a can be written as b to the power c. Thus x can be written as 2 to the power 2 and x is equal to 4. So this is one root of the equation. X can be written as 2 to the power 3, so x is equal to 8. This is the second root of the equation. This is the first root and this is the second root of the equation. Product of the roots will be equal to 4 into 8, which is equal to 32. This will be the product of the roots, which is 4 and 8. That the product will be 32, and therefore the product of the roots of the given equation will be 32. The remainder when 1 factorial plus 2 factorial plus 3 factorial plus dash 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 up till 95 factorial is divided by 15 is. Okay. So let's expand this. 1 factorial is 1, 2 factorial is 2, 3 factorial is 6, 4 factorial is 24, 5 factorial is 120, 6 factorial is 720, 7 factorial is 5040, and this continues. Now from 5 factorial, what will happen? 5 factorial can be written as 1 into 2 into 3 into 4 into 5. Now there is 3, there is 5. So I can write this 5 factorial will be 15 into some constant number. 5 factorial will be 15 into constant number. Similarly, for 6 factorial, I can write this as 1 into 2 into 3 into 4 into 5 into 6. So again, we have 3 and 5 factors. So we can write 15 into some another constant number. Similarly, for 7 factorial as well, we can write this as 1 into 2 into 3 into 4 into 5 into 6 into 7. Again, there is 3 and 5 terms available. So all the numbers, so for all n greater than equal to 5, n factorial will be completely divisible by 15. N factorial will be completely divisible by 15. And the reason for this is we will find 3 into 5 in their expansion. For every n factorial, there will be 3 into 5, at least one 3 and at least one 5 in their expansion, because of which it will be completely divisible by 15. So if I want to say, if I have to take the modular, that is I have to find out the remainder when it is divided by 15, these all terms up till the end will be completely divisible by 50, so they will leave remainder 0. Now we have to find out what will be the remainder when this is divided. So 1 plus 2 is 3, 3 plus 6 is 9, 9 plus 24 is 33. So 33 plus 0 modulo 15. This will be equal to 33 modulo 15. So the remainder when 33 is divided by 15 is 15 to the 30, and therefore the remainder will be 3. Thus from 1 factorial plus 2 factorial plus 3 factorial up till plus 95 factorial, resultant number when divided by 15 will be leave the remainder as 3, and therefore 3 is the correct answer. Vinitha drives a car which has 4 gears. The speed of the car in the 4th gear is 5 times its speed in the 1st gear. So let's say the speed in the 1st gear, 2nd gear, 3rd gear and 4th gear be G1, G2, G3 and G4. These are the speeds in the 4 gears, G1, G2, G3 and G4. It is given that speed in 4th gear is 5 times its speed in the 1st gear. So G4 will be equal to 5 into G1. G4 will be equal to 5 times G1. Now we have the car takes twice the time to travel a certain distance in the 2nd gear as compared to the 3rd gear. So let's say if it is covering a distance D, then time taken in 2nd gear will be T2 will be D by G2, and in 3rd gear T3 will be D by G3. It is given that the car takes twice the time to travel a certain distance in 2nd gear. So in 2nd gear it is taking twice the time in 3rd gear. So T2 will be twice of T3. Thus I can write D of G2 will be equal to 2 into D of G3. D will get cancelled, and thus I can write G3 will be equal to 2G2. So we have these two equations, G4 is equal to 5G1 and G3 is equal to 2G2. Now further given that in a 100-kilometer journey, if Vinitha travels equal distances in each of the gears, so it is she is traveling 25 kilometers in each gear, she takes 585 minutes to complete the journey. So if she is doing 25 in G1 plus 25 in G2, and what is G2? Okay, 25, let's say 25 upon G2, which is distance divided by speed is the time, and the total time is given as 585 minutes. So 25 by G1 plus 25 by G2 plus 25 by G3, because it is covering 25 same distance in each of the gears. So 25 by G3, G3 I can write as 2G2. So 2 into G2 plus 25 by G4. G4 can be written as 5G1. So this can be written as 5G1. This is equal to 585 minutes. If I further solve this, this will be 5. So 25G1 plus 5G1, this will be equal to 30 upon G1 plus 25G2 can be written as 50 upon 2G2, and this is 25 upon 2G2. 50 upon 2G2 plus 25 upon 2G2, this solving this will give me 75 divided by 2G2, which is equal to 585. If I further solve this up, I can write this 30 upon G1 as 60 upon 2G1 plus 75 upon 2G2 should be equal to 585. Or now we can take 5 by 2 common. 5 upon 2 can be taken common out. So this will be roughly around, or I can take 15 upon 2 common. We will take 15 upon 2 common. So this will come out as 4 upon G1 plus 5 upon G2 multiplied by 15 upon 2. This will be equal to 585. Thus, if I just further solve this up, I'll get 4 upon G1 plus 5 upon G2 to be equal to 15, 3 is a 45 and 135, so 39. So 4 by G1 plus 5 by G2 is equal to 78. This will be equal to 78. Now let's further solve the second part, the last part of the question. It is saying instead of the distances covered in the first, second, third and fourth gears, instead of this, like instead of covering equal distances, if it was 4 km first, 4 km then 32 km and then 60 km respectively in each gear. So this is 4 in first gear, 4 in second, 32 in third and 60 in fourth. Then the time taken in minutes to complete the journey. So we have to find out the time taken in this particular case. So the case is, what will be the value of 4 upon G1? 4 upon G1 plus 5 upon G2 is equal to 78. 4 upon G1 plus 5 upon G2 is equal to 78. Now we have 4 upon G1, 4 in the first gear, 4 in the second gear. This is our second case. If the case was another, that is 4 in first, 4 in second, then 32 in third gear and 60 in fourth gear, how much time it will take? So again we will write G3 as 2G2. So 4 upon G1 plus 4 upon, instead of G3 I will just write here 2G2. G3 as 2G2, and G4 I'll write as 5G1. G4 will be 5G1. So further solving this, 4 upon G2 remains same, 4 upon G1 plus 4 upon G2 remains same, 32 by 2G2 will be 16 upon G2 plus 60 by 5 will be equal to 12 by G1. Thus, if I further solve this up, this will be 16 upon G1 plus 20 upon G2. Now, if I take 4 common will give me 4 upon G1 plus 5 upon G2. And we have already calculated the value of 4 upon G1 plus 5 upon G2. 4 upon G1 plus 5 upon G2 is 78. So substituting this will give us 4 into 78, which will be equal to 78, 150 is 312 minutes. 312 minutes, and therefore I can say when they are traveling 4 km in the first gear, 4 in the second, 32 in the third, and 60 km in the fourth, she will take 312 minutes. Let a, b, c, d be positive integers such that a plus b plus c plus d is 2023. If a is to b is equal to 2 is to 5 and c is to b, d is equal to 5 is to 2. So let's say if a is to b is 2 is to 5, I can say a as 2k and b as 5k. And c is to d is 5 is to 2, so I can write c is equal to 5m and d is equal to 2m. Now we are given a plus b plus c plus d is equal to 2023, so I can write 2k plus 5k plus 5m plus 2m, this is equal to 2023. So 2k plus 5k is 7k, 5m plus 2m is 7m, so I can write 7 into k plus m, 7k plus 7m or 7 into k plus m is equal to 2023. Thus I can write k plus m will be equal to 2023 divided by 7, this will be equal to 289. We have got the value of k plus m is equal to 289. We have to find out the maximum possible value of a plus c is. So it is asking for the maximum possible value of a plus c. What is a plus c? A plus c is equal to 2k plus 5m. So this is the value of a plus c. Now if we see, the multiplying factor of m is basically higher than the multiplying factor of k. 5 into some number, 5 into m plus 2 into k. Multiplying factor of m is much greater than multiplying factor of k. Also we are given that a, b, c, d are positive integers. A, b, c, d are positive integers. So what does this mean? That k and m cannot be equal to 0. Because if k or m is equal to 0, it will be 0. A will be, let's say if I say k is 0, then a and b will be 0. Which is not possible because it is clearly given that a, b, c, d are positive integers and 0 is not a positive integer. Every integer greater than 0 is a positive integers. So if I want this to be maximized, what I have to do? I have to take the maximum value of m. I have to take the maximum value of m and I have to give k the minimum value. K I have to give the minimum value. Now what is the minimum value of k? Minimum value of k will be 1. Since it is clearly given that a, b, c, d are positive integers, we cannot take k as 0. So we have to thus take k is equal to 1. So if I take from this equation k is equal to 1, I am getting m is equal to 289 minus 1, which is 288. So at this value, I'll get the maximum value of a plus c, and a plus c max will be 2 into k, which is 2 into 1 plus 5 into 288. 5m, 5 into 288. So 2 into 1 plus 5 into 288, this is equal to 2 plus 288 into 5 is 1440. Thus I can say the a plus c maximum value is 1440 plus 2, which is 1442. So a plus c maximum value is 1442. The maximum value of a plus c is 1442. Define the set S as the collection of all the points C on the circle x square plus y square is equal to 4, such that the area of triangle ABC is an integer. Okay, so we have on xy axis plane, we have a circle which is x square plus y square is equal to 4, and this is a is minus 2 comma 0, so this is minus 2 comma 0 and this is 2 comma 0, and this is circle, so this means that this is 0 comma 2 and this is 0 comma minus 2, because the radius of the circle is 2 and the center is at 0 comma 0. So the number of points in the set S is, so basically we have to find out the area of triangle ABC to be integer, and C should lie on the circle x square plus y square is equal to 4. Let's say C is this point. If I say C is this point and this is my triangle ABC, so what will happen? This is my height This is my height. Let's say this point is h comma k. So this will be k. This will be k. So my area of triangle will be half into, what is the base? Base is 2 minus minus 2, which is 4. So half into base 4 into height, which is k. So area of triangle is equal to 2k. Area of triangle is equal to 2k. Now we need to find out that area of triangle should be an integer value. So for area of triangle to be an integer value, the values k can take is k is equal to 1 by 2, k is equal to 1, or k is equal to 3 by 2, or k is equal to 2. And 2 is the maximum value because 0 comma 2, k, the maximum value of k can be 2. K can be less than or equal to 2. So 1 by 2, 1, 3 by 2 and 2. So how this k is equal to 1 by 2 or 1, 3 by 2 or 2 is possible? Now k is equal to 1 by 2. So it is possible at 2 points. So if I draw this diagram again, this is minus 2 comma 0, 2 comma 0. Now if I want k is equal to 1 by 2, that is the height to be 1 by 2. So there will be 2 points. If I say this is 1 by 2, so there will be 2 points. At this point also k will be 1 by 2, and at this point also, that is when the triangle will be inverted, then also the height of the triangle will be 1 by 2. The y coordinate will be negative point, but the height, which will be the distance between the y coordinate and the x axis, it will be 1 by 2 only, which is positive. So with 1 by 2, I can say there is 2 values. Similarly, this is in the negative x axis. If I say that in the positive x axis, this height will also be 1 by 2. At these 2 points also, if I say this is 1 by 2 and this is 1 by 2, again there are 2 possible cases more. So in total, I can say for 1 by 2, there are 4 possible cases. 1 by 2 in one positive x axis in first quadrant, then second quadrant, then third quadrant and fourth quadrant. These are the 4 values. Now for 1, again similar to which 1 by 2 approach, let's say if this is 1, if this height is 1, this height is also 1, this height is also 1, and this height is also 1. So all these 4 values, all these 4 are representing the height as 1, and for all these points there are 4 different points. There are 4 different coordinates at the circle. So again for 1 there are 4 points. Similarly for 3 by 2 height, let's say this is the 3 by 2 height. So similarly this can be 3 by 2, this can be 3 by 2, and this was also 3 by 2. So these all 4 points will give me the height 3 by 2. So there are 4 points with height 3 by 2 as well. Now with height 2, there is only one point, this one point with height 2 and this one point with height 2, which is 0 comma 2 and 0 comma minus 2. These are the only 2 points with height 2. So thus there will be 2 points with height 2. So with 1 by 2 there are 4 points, each in one quadrant. Then with 1 again each in one quadrant. Then with 3 by 2 again each in one quadrant. And with 2 height, it is on the y axis only. There is no quadrant division. Thus the total number of points is 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4, which is 14 points. Thus the answer for this question, that is number of points in the set, is 14. The next question is saying the length of the line segment joining the 2 intersection points of the curves y is equal to 4970 minus mod x and y is equal to x square is. So we have to first of all draw the diagrams of these. So y is equal to x square will be something like this. Y is equal to x square will be something like this. Now we need y is equals to 4970 minus mod x. So we know mod x is like this. Mod x is like this. This is mod x. If I want minus mod x, it will be inverted about yx. It will be there will be a mirror image along the x axis. So this will be mod x. Sorry, minus mod x. This is minus mod x. Now if I want the graph for y is equals to 4970 minus mod x. So I'm adding 4970 to the equation. So basically my graph will be shifted by 4970 in the positive direction. So my 4970 minus mod x will be something like this. Minus 4970 minus 4970 minus mod x will be something like this, where this point will be 0 comma 4970. Now the equation of this line will be, since in this part x is positive, this will be y is equals to mod x will be plus x. So y is equals to 4970 minus x. Since mod x will come out as plus x, mod x will come out as plus x for x greater than 0, and mod x will come out as minus x for x less than 0. So this will be y is equal to 4970 minus of minus x. So y is equals to 4970 plus x. Now I have to find out the intersection point. This point and this point I have to find out, and I have to find out the length of the line segment joining these two intersection points. So I have to find the length of this line. This line's length I had to find. Now what is y? Y is equals to x square. So I can write x square is equals to 4970 minus x. I can solve this equation. I'll get x square plus x minus 4970 is equal to 0. It can be splitted as x plus 71 into x minus 70 is equal to 0. And thus I can get x coordinate to be 70. The x coordinate to be 70, I will further get y as x square. So this will be 70, 4900. This will be 70, 4900. Now y is equals to 4970 plus x. Again, I'll equate this y is equals to x square. So x square is equals to 4970 plus x. And for this we have to remember that x should be less than 0. X should be less than 0. From here, there were two possible values. X can be minus 71 as well. But since this was in the first quadrant, it is very clear that x cannot be a negative value. X cannot be a negative value. Thus I said x is equal to 70. Similarly, in this case, if I solve this, x square minus x minus 4970 is equal to 0. I'll get the factors as x minus 71 into x plus 70 is equal to 0. Thus there will be two values, either x is equal to minus 70 or x is equal to 71. Now x cannot be 71 because I have clearly said that this is x less than 0. I have got mod x is equals to minus x when I have assumed that x is less than 0. So this point also you can just logically see that this is negative x-axis. If I say this is positive x-axis, this is negative x-axis. Thus this point should be a negative point only. So this will be minus 70, 4900. Because again you put the value of x is equal to minus 70 into y is equals to x square, you will get minus 70, 4900. Thus, if I see what are the, if I say AB is the line, joining the line. So what is the coordinates of A? A is minus 70, 4900 and B is 70, 4900. Now what is the distance between the two lines? Since their y coordinates is same, the difference between their x coordinates is the distance between the lines. So I can say AB is equals to 70 minus 70, or I can say 140 units. Thus the length of the line segment AB will be 140 units, and therefore I can say the correct answer for this is length of the line segment will be 140. Assume it is the beginning of the year today. Ankita will earn INR 10,000 at the end of the year, which she plans to invest in a bank deposit immediately at a fixed simple interest of 0.5% per annum. Her yearly income will increase by 10,000 every year, and the fixed simple interest offered by the bank on new deposits will also increase by 0.5% per annum every year. Okay, this is every year as well. If Ankita continues to invest all her yearly income in new bank deposits at the end of each year, the total interest earned by her, so we have to find out the total interest in INR in 5 years from today. By the end of the first year, okay, by the end of the first year, she will earn 10,000. She will earn 10,000 and she is investing it in 0.5%. Now from end of first year till we have to find out in 5 years from today. So the time period will be 4 years. So this is rate, this is principal. So this 10,000 we have to find out at the end of 5th year. At the end of first year she is getting 10,000 rupees. The rate of interest is 0.5%. So the time period, since it is end of first year till end of 5th year, from end of first year till end of 5th year, it will be second year, third year, fourth year and 5th year. The second year complete, because first year we don't have to count because it is being invested at the end of first year. So you can consider it as like it is invested at the start of the second year. The second year, third year, fourth year and 5th year. These are the 4 years for which it is invested. Now what it is saying that her yearly income will increase by INR 10,000. So at the end of second year, what will happen? Her investment will be what? It will be increased by 10,000. Her income will be increased by 10,000. So it will become 20,000. And rate of interest will also increase by 0.5%. So this will become 1%. And time period now, from end of second year to end of 5th year, it will be third year full, fourth year full and 5th year. We don't have to consider second year because this is the situation at the end of the second year. So time period will be 3 years. Now end of third year, what will happen? principal amount will be 30,000 because again her income is increasing by 10,000 every month. Rate of interest is also increasing by 0.5% per annum, so this will become 1.5%. And time period, since it is end of third year, so she will have fourth year and fifth year, only 2 years, so t is equal to 2. Then we have end of fourth year. End of fourth year will be principal 10,000 is her income is increased by 10,000, so principal will now become 40,000. Rate of interest will be 2%, and now the time period will be end of fourth year will be it will be 1 year only, because since we have only fifth year to count the full to get the full interest. So we don't have to worry about end of fifth year, because till the end of fifth year our salary will increase, but ultimately we have to find out the total interest. So she won't be able to invest it or get certain interest amount from that investment, because at the end of fifth year she needs 1 more year to get the interest. So we have to consider these 4 cases only. Now what is the interest? Interest value, simple interest, it is P into R into T divided by 100. That is principal into rate of interest into time divided by 100. Now what is interest for first case? It is 10,000 into 0.5 into 4 divided by 100. Plus interest from the second case, it is 20,000 into 1 into 3 divided by 100. Then for third case, it is 30,000 into 1.5 into 2 divided by 100. Plus for the fourth case, 40,000 into 2 into 1 divided by 100. So this will be 100 into 0.5 is 50 into 4, 200. So this will be 200 rupees plus this 0 0 that cancelled. So 200 plus 600. This will be 600 plus 0 0 3 900. So this will become 900. So 200 plus 600 plus 900 plus 40,000. This 0 0 get cancelled, and 400 into 2 800. Thus if I calculate the total amount of interest, total will be 200, 600, 800, 1700, 800, 2500. The total interest is rupees 2500, and therefore I can say the correct answer will be, the total interest will be 2500. The next question is saying, in a chess tournament there are 4 groups, each containing an equal number of players. So there are 4 groups. Let's say I'll draw these 4 groups, A, B, C and D. There are 4 groups and each have n players, let's say. Each plays, okay, so there are 4 conditions given to it, against every other player belonging to one's own group. So within their group they are playing match with every other team member exactly once. So this is exactly once. Then we have against each player belonging to one of the remaining 3 groups exactly twice. So against each player from one of the remaining 3 groups exactly twice. Okay. Against each player belonging to one of the remaining 2 groups. So after this first and second, against each player belonging to one of the remaining 2 groups. What are the 2 groups remaining? And it is playing for 3 times exactly. And against each player belonging to the remaining group. So whatever the group, apart from the first 3 conditions, whatever the group is remaining, they are playing it for 4 times. So let me do one thing. What I'll do is basically I'll make a table for it, and I'll make a count that who is playing against whom for 2 times, exactly once, exactly twice, exactly thrice, and similar. So first of all, they have to play exactly once. So once they have to play against within their team, within their group only. So these 4 are the groups. Then they have to play with one of the team exactly twice. Then with one of the team exactly thrice, and with one of the group exactly 4 times. With one of the group exactly twice, one of the group exactly thrice, and one of the group exactly 4 times. So let's say with A. So with A, what will happen? First of all, they have to play within their own group. So within their own group, since if there are n players and they have to play within their own, it is also given that, let me complete the question. If there are more than 1000 matches, total number of matches, total matches is greater than 1000. If total number of matches is greater than 1000 being played in the tournament, the minimum possible number of players in each team, we have to find out the n minimum value. You have to find out the minimum value of n. So if I say for A, if they have to play exactly, like they have to play exactly once within their group, the number of ways is nc2. So within A, they will play against A only. Now let's say they are playing against B twice. That is the second condition for group A, that they have to play against each other belonging to one of the remaining 3 groups. One of the remaining 3 groups is B, C, D. Let's say this is B. So against B, they are playing 2 times. So if A is playing against B 2 times, then it is very much sure that B will also play against A 2 times. If A is playing against B 2 times, then every player of B will play against A 2 times. Like if there is n members of group A are playing against n members of group B, and they are playing it 2 times. So similarly, for n members of group B are also playing with all the members of group A exactly twice. Now, if this is the case for A, what will be the number of games? Number of games will be n into 2n. Why? Because number of members in group A is n and number of members in group B is n. So n into n, but they are playing exactly twice. So n into 2. So this will be 2n square. Now with B, when we are counting for B, we don't have to count these games because it is already counted. B with A is already counted, so we don't have to consider that. Now let's say with exactly thrice, they are playing with group C. With group C, if every member of group A is playing with every member of group C exactly thrice, then every member of group C is also playing with every member of group A exactly thrice. So I can write here A. Here I can write A because every member of group C is playing with every member of group A as well thrice. And number of matches will be again n members of group A multiplied by n members of group C multiplied by 3 because it is thrice. So n into 3n. Plus the remaining, let's say with 4 times, they are playing exactly 4 games with group D. So if A is playing with group D 4 times, then group D is also playing with A 4 times. So A, again, this will be written here. And now we don't have to count these numbers for B, C and D. When we are counting the number of games for B, C and D, we don't have to count because this will be what? This will be n into 4n. If A is playing against D for 4 times, it will be n. There are n members in group D as well, and they are playing 4 times. So n into 4n. Now with these particular cells, I don't have to count against because these are already counted. This n into 2n. So with B with A, C with A and D with A, I have to ignore because they are already counted. Otherwise, if we are counting for it, we are counting those number of matches again. We are counting those number of matches twice. Now let's say with B. First of all, B have to play within B. So it will be again NC2. Now BA, C has already played with A thrice. So B cannot play with C thrice because C has already played and it is clearly given that one of the remaining, So of the remaining they are playing. Now C has already played, so C is not the remaining ones. The remaining ones are either B or D. B cannot play within themselves for 3 times. So what they will do, they will play with D. Thus this is NC2 plus B and D is playing 3 times. So D and B will also play 3 times. If every member of group B is playing with every member of group D 3 times, then every member of group D is also playing every member of group B 3 times. Again, we don't have to count this one. Also, we ignored, you can clearly see we ignored this one. Let's put a cross, we don't have to count for. So this we have to don't count for. So BD, the number of matches will be n into 3n. Now B with the remaining team left is C, so they'll play with C and this will be n into 4n. Also, if B is playing with C, then C is also playing with B for 4 times, and again I don't have to count this one. Now let's see for C. For C, first of all they have to play within themselves, which will be equal to NC2. Within themselves is NC2. Now C, A, B, the remaining team is D now. We don't have to count for A and B, we don't have to count for this and this one. So the remaining one is D and they are playing it with twice. So this will be n into 2n. Now if C is playing with D twice, then D is also playing with C twice, and again I don't have to include this one while calculating the number of games for D. Now for D, this will be equal to, they have to play within themselves, which is NC2, and we don't have to count for C, B and A because these all games are already counted. We have already considered it when we were counting the number of games for A, B and C. So the total sum of these 4 things is basically the total number of games. So what is the total number of games? NC2 is equal to what? N into n minus 1 by 2. So there are 4 NC2. So 4 into n minus 1 divided by 2. This will be 2n square minus 2n plus. Now there are 2n square. So there are 2 cases of 2n square. So this will be 4n square plus 3n square and 3n square. There are 2 cases of 3n square. So this will be 6n square, and 4n square, 4n square. There are 2 cases of 4n square. This will be 8n square. This should be greater than 1000 because this is the number of games. This is the total number of matches being played in the tournament, and this should be greater than 1000. Thus I can say 2 plus 4, 8 plus 6, 2 plus 4 6, 6 plus 6 12 plus 8 20n square. So 20n square minus 2n should be greater than 1000. Now how to find the answers for this? You have to just do hit and try. Put the value of n is equal to 4. Now n is equal to 4 will be 16 into 20, which is 320, minus something which will be definitely less than 1000. So n is equal to 4 is not working. Let's say for n is equal to 6. 36 into 20, 720, and again subtracted from 720, again this will be less than 1000, so not counted. Let's check for n is equal to 7. So 7 it is 49 into 20, which is 980, and 980 something subtracted from 980, 980 minus 14 exactly, this is 966, which is again less than 1000. We have to find out greater than 1000, and then we have to find out the minimum value of it. Now if I put n is equal to 8, this will be 20 into 64 minus 60, which is equal to 20 into 64 is 1280 and 1264. This is the number of games when n is equal to 8 and this is greater than 1000. 1264 and this is greater than 1000. So n will be equal to 8. N will be equal to 8. And this will be the minimum value because we checked for n is equal to 7 and it was coming out as less than 1000. The number of games was coming out as less than 1000. So n cannot be 7. With n is equal to 8, it is coming as 1000. Greater than 1000, which is 1264. Thus the minimum value of n will be what? Minimum value of n will be 8, and thus 8 will be the correct answer. The next question is saying if log of sin x to the base cos x and log of cos x to the base sin x is equal to 2, then the value of x is. So let me write it in this way: log base cos x sin x, and we know log a to the base b can be written as 1 upon log b to the base a. So this will be plus 1 upon log sin x to the base cos x. Log sin x to the base cos x is equal to 2. Now if I assume this as t, this will be 1 upon t. And t plus 1 by t is always greater than equal to 2. This is always greater than equal to 2. And it is only equal to 2. T plus 1 by t is equal to 2 only when t is equal to 1. T plus 1 by t will always be greater than equal to 2, and it will be only equal to 2 when t is equal to 1. Therefore, I can say this value, that is log of sin x to the base cos x, should be 1. Log of sin x to the base cos x should be 1. If I am saying this plus this is equal to 2, then this should be 1 and this should be 1, which means log of sin x to the base cos x should be 1. Now log b to the base a is equal to c, then b is equal to a to the power c. This is the property of logarithms. So what I can say is sin x should be equal to cos x. Sin x should be equal to cos x. And in which quadrant this is possible? Sin x is equal to cos x only in quadrant 1. Only in quadrant 1. Sin x is equal to cos x. Let's say if this is the diagram. In this, sin and cos both are positive, because sin is positive in this one and cos is positive in this one. But in which quadrant is sin and cos both are positive? It is quadrant 1. And how do we calculate the angles of quadrant 1? Each angle of quadrant 1 is given by 2n pi plus theta. Each angle of quadrant 1 is given by 2n pi plus theta. Now we have to find out this theta. Now sin x is equal to cos x. This means sin x divided by cos x, which is 10x, should be equal to 1. If I bring this cos x to the left hand side denominator, it will be 10x is equal to 1. And 10x is equal to 1 only when x is equal to pi by 4. It can be 5 pi by 4 as well, but at 5 pi by 4, sin x and cos x will have different. X is equal to pi by 4 or 5 pi by 4. X is equal to pi by 4 or 5 pi by 4. Now we have, if this is logarithms, we can say that sin x and cos x should be greater than 0. Sin x and cos x should be greater than 0, because if it is very clearly said that if it is log ax, then it is defined only when x is greater than 0. Log ax, log x to the base a is only defined when x is greater than 0. A should not be equal to 1. A should not be equal to 1, and a should also be positive. Thus we can clearly say that sin x and cos x should be positive. Both sin x and cos x should be positive. Now this is also only possible in quadrant 1. Sin x and cos x will be equal only in quadrant 1, and it will be equal in quadrant 3 as well. Sin x and cos x will be equal in quadrant 3 as well, because then the values, both of the values will be negative. But we want sin x to be greater than 0 and cos x to be greater than 0. Cos x to be greater than 0. Now this is only possible in the first quadrant. Thus 5 pi by 4 will not be possible, because then sin x and cos x will be a negative value. Therefore, x pi by 4, yeah. So the answer to this question will be 2n pi plus pi by 4. 2n pi plus pi by 4. At all these values, the logarithm will be defined and it will be equal to 2. Log of this plus this will be equal to 2 and it will be defined as well. So the answer will be 2n pi plus pi by 4 and therefore option A will be the correct answer. A person standing at the center of an open ground first walks 32 meters towards the east. So let's say he's standing here and he's walking 32 meters towards the east. Takes a right turn and walks 16 meters. So takes a right turn and he walks 16 meters now. So this is 32 meters. Then this is 16 meters. Takes another right turn and walks 8 meters. So now he's looking at south direction. So his walk will be R left. So he'll move this direction. So this will be another 8 meters. Walking 8 meters. And so on. So his distance is being reduced by half. So 32 right. Then again 16 right. Then 8 right. So now he is facing in the west direction, so his right will be north. So he'll move 4 meters now. Half of 8 will be 4. So he'll move like this, 4 meters. Now 2 meters towards right again. So it is like this, then this, then this, then this, and then this. So 2 meters towards right. Then again 1 meter towards down. Then we have 1 by 2 meters towards left. 1 by 2 meters towards left, and then again 1 by 4 meters up, and this will keep on going up further when we'll come to this point. So let's say this is the final coordinates of the point. So this is my initial point and this is my final point. So now what is happening? If I see in the horizontal direction, what is going on? Basically, if I consider if I have to find out, let's say if this point was 0, 0, and I have to find out the coordinate of the final point. So what is happening? We are moving 32 in the right direction. Then for the horizontal, for the x-axis, we are moving 8 to the left direction. Then we are again moving 2 to the right direction. So number of positive distances, what we are covering, let's say if we are considering this as positive x-axis. If I draw x-axis like this, and I am here somewhere here. Initially I was here, 0, 0, and now I am somewhere here. Now I am moving in the positive x-axis. What is the total positive x-axis coordinate? So x-axis coordinate will be, first we are moving 32 in the right, so plus 32. Then we are moving 8 to the left, so minus 8. Then we are moving 2 to the right. So 32, then we are moving 2 to the right. So this is plus 2. Then what will happen? Again, this will be 1 by 4. This will be minus 1 by 4. So this is 2. 1 by 1, 1 by 2, 1 by 4, and this will be now 1 by 8. So this is plus 2. Now you can clearly see this is, I'll write this clearly. This is 1 upon 2 meter and this is 1 upon 4 meter. I'll write this is clearly as well. This is 1 upon 4 meter. Now plus 2. Now this is, again, if you clearly see, this is minus 1 by 2. So minus 1 by 2. So plus 32 minus 8. So plus 32 this side, then minus 8 this side. Then we have plus 2 this side, and then we have minus 1 by 2 this side. So this will keep on going. So this will be an infinite GP. Now infinite GP, our first term is A, which is 32, and my common ratio is minus 1 by 4. My common ratio is minus 1 by 4. So 32, say minus 8, then again minus 1 by 4, which will become 2, and again minus 1 by 4, this will be minus 1 by 2. So the total sum of this will be total movement on the x-axis. I have to consider the total movement on the x-axis to find out this point, which is my final point. So I have to consider all the positive movements and the negative movements. So right side and then left side, then right side, then left side, and I'll get the final. So this will be given by A upon 1 minus R. Now what is A? A is 32 upon 1 minus 1 by 4. This will be equal to 32 divided by 5 by 4, or I can say 128 divided by 5. So this is my x-axis coordinate. 128 divided by 5 is my x-axis coordinate. Now since let's say I have to consider the y-axis coordinate. Now what is happening for y-axis? You can clearly see we are moving 16 meter down. Let's say for down I'll represent this by negative, and for up I represent this by positive. Since I have to find out the coordinate of the final points, the coordinate of this point, so I'll consider down is negative because downside is negative y-axis and upside is positive y-axis. So I'm moving 16 meters down. So minus 16 because I'm moving down. Then I'm moving 4 meters up. So this is plus 4 because 16 down and then 4 up. Then I am moving 1 meter down. First this 16 down, then 4 up, then 1 meter down. This will be plus minus 1 because 1 meter down. Then you can clearly see this is which is 1 by 4. I am moving 1 by 4 meters up. This I am moving 1 by 4 meters up. So this will be plus 1 by 4. And again this will be continued as well, which will be infinite GP. Now in order to find out the y-axis, again we have to consider all the downward movements and upward movements and take the sum of all of them to get the final point. So downward, which is negative y-axis, and upward, which is positive y-axis. So again in this is also an infinite GP whose first term is, let's say this time I represent it by minus b. So b is minus 16 and common ratio which is minus 1 by 4. So again ratio is minus 1 by 4 only. So thus the total y-axis, if I have to find out, the entire y-axis coordinate will be, or y coordinate will be again b upon 1 minus r, which is minus 16 upon 1 minus 1 by 4. So this is equal to minus 16 upon 1 minus, which is 5 by 4, and therefore this will be equal to minus 64 by 5. So that's what I meant to say is, basically if I say this is my x and y axis, this is my quadrants or my xy plane. If I start at this point, which is 0, 0, I move 32 right, then 16 left, then 8 right, then 4 again right, then again 2 right, then again 1 right, and I continue this thing. If I continue this thing, initially I will be at 0, 0, and my final coordinates will be somewhere here, which is 128 by 5, comma minus 64 by 5. Because my x coordinate is 128 by 5 and my y coordinate is minus 64 by 5. So this will be my final coordinate. So this is my total final point. So initially I am standing here and I will reach at this point. I have to find out the distance between these 2 points. I have to find out how far will the person be from the original starting point after an infinite number of such walks. So after infinite number of such walks, he will be here. After infinite walks, he will be somewhere here. Thus the total distance will be this distance. Let's say this is d. D is equals to under root of 128 by 5 minus 0 ka whole square plus minus 64 by 5 minus 0 ka whole square. This will be equal to 128 ka square is 2 to the power 7. So 2 to the power 14 divided by 25 plus under root of 2 to the power 14 divided by 25 plus 64 is 2 to the power 6. So 2 to the power 12 divided by 25. So I can take 2 to the power 12 divided by 25 as common. So 2 to the power divided by 2 to the power 12 divided by 25 as common. Entirely I am left with 2 square, which is 4 and plus 1. So now this will come out as 2 to the power 12 divided by 25. I can take the root. This will be equal to 2 to the power 6 divided by 5. Multiplied by root 5 will again stay inside. So if I further solve this up, this will be equal to 64 root 5 by 5. I am writing it here, 64 root 5 by 5. Or further simplifying it, this will be equal to 64 by root 5 meter. Thus the value of this d distance, that is the distance from the starting point up till the final point after infinite number of steps, will be 64 by root 5 meter, and therefore I can say option B, which is 64 by root 5 meters, is the correct answer. The next question is saying the equation of x square plus y square minus 2x minus 4y plus 5 is equal to 0 represent. So if I solve this one, it is x square minus 2x plus 1 plus y square minus 4y plus 4. This will be equal to 0 because 1 and 4 is divided among the two. So this will be x minus 1 ka whole square plus y minus 2 ka whole square is equal to 0. Now this is an equation of a point. This is not a circle. This is an equation of a point. And what is the equation of point? Whenever the radius of the circle is 0, that a simple equation like x minus a square plus y minus b square is equal to r square. This is a circle with a comma b as center and r as the radius. But whenever r is equal to 0, it is an equation of point, and therefore I can say option C, a point, is the correct answer. A goldsmith bought a large solid golden ball at INR 10 lakhs. So this is 10 lakhs is the cost price of the big ball, and melted it to make a certain number of solid spherical beads such that the radius of each bead was 1/5 of the radius of the original ball. So if the radius of the big ball, large ball, was, then the radius of the bead will be r by 5. So now since it is melted to form another case and there will be multiple beads, so what I will assume, there are n beads. Let's say there are n beads. Now we'll compare the volume of it. So volume of the larger sphere, which is 4 by 3, large solid golden one, which is 4 by 3 pi capital R cube, is equals to Number of balls is n, number of beads is n multiplied by volume of each bead, and volume of each bead will be 4 by 3 pi r by 3 ka whole cube. 4 by 3 pi r by 5 ka whole cube. Now 4 by 3 pi will be cancelled, r cube and r cube will be cancelled, and ultimately what we are left with is n is equal to 5 cube or is equal to 125. So there are in total 125 beads. Now cost price of total 125 beads was 10 lakhs. If we are just melting the larger sphere into n small 125 smaller beads, the cost price will remain the same. So I can write the price of 125 beads CP is still 10 lakhs. 10 lakhs. So one beads ka CP will be 10 lakh divided by 125, which will be equal to 125 which is 4. So there are 4,000. So price of each bead, CP of one bead is equals to 4,000. Now what we have? Further it is saying assume that the cost of making golden beads is negligible. It has said that you don't have to consider the cost of making golden bead. The entire cost is being transferred to basically in beads. If the goldsmith set all the beads at 20% discount on the listed price, let's say the listed price is M. So 20% discount, so what it is selling it as, selling price will be, what was the listed price? Listed price M into discount. It is always the discount is given on the listed price. So 1 minus 20 by 100. 20% discount is given, so 1 minus 20 by 100. Thus I can say selling price is marked price, which is listed price into 0.8. This is my selling price at 20% discount and made a total profit of 20%. Profit is always, so first of all, discount is always given on mark price, and profit is always made on the cost price. Profit is made on the cost. If it is making profit of how much? 20%. Then the listed price of each golden bead in INR. So we have to find out the value of M, and it is making a profit of 20%, which means if CP of bead is 4,000, so SP will be CP into 1 plus profit percentage. This is the formula. So thus I can write what is the CP? CP 4,000 into 1 plus 20 by 100. This is equals to 4,800. Now we have SP, which is M into 0.8, and we have SP 4,800. We can compare these values. M will be M into 0.8 can be equal to 4,800. And thus I can write M will be equal to 4,800 divided by 0.8, which value is 6,000. Thus, the listed price or the mark price of each bead will be 6,000 rupees. Because even after giving a 20% discount, the shopkeeper or the goldsmith will still make a, okay, this is a small mistake, 1 lakh, this will be 8,000, sorry. This will be 8,000. So CP of each bead is 8,000. So this will be 8,000 into 1 plus 20%. So this will be 9,600. This will be 9,600, and if this is 9,600, this will also be 9,600, and this will also be changed. So just it will be a double. So 9,600, 9,600, and this will be 12,000. This will be 12,000. 10 lakhs divided by 125. It was 8,000, which is cost price of 1 bead. Now selling price is cost price into 1 plus profit percentage. So cost price is 8,000 into 1 plus 20 by 100, which is 1.2. So 8,000 into 1.2 is 9,600. Now it was M into 0.8. So M into 0.8 is 9,600. So M will be equal to 9,600 divided by 0.8, which is equal to 12,000. And this 12,000, that is this M, is basically the listed price of each bead, and therefore I can say the listed price of each bead in INR was rupees 12,000. A helicopter flies along the sides of a square field of side length 100 kilometers. The first side is covered with a speed of 100 kilometers. So let's say we'll draw the square first. So 100 kilometers, 100 kilometers, 100 and 100. And the helicopter is moving on the sides of the square field at the speed of 100 km per hour. And for each subsequent side, the speed is increased by 100 kmph. So let's say if it is moving at 100 kmph for this particular side, at this side it will be 200 kmph. At this side it will be 300 kmph, and at this side it will be 400 kmph. Thus if I have to find out the time here in this will be 1 hour. Time here for the second side, this side will be 100 km for 200 km per hour. At 200 km per hour, the time will be 1 by 2 hours. Similarly, 100 kilometers when traveling at 300 km per hour, the time will be 1 upon 3 hour. And 100 kilometers when traveling at 400 km per hour, the time will be 1 upon 4 hour. Time will be 1 upon 4 hour. Okay, covers all the sides. The average speed of the helicopter is. So average speed is, what is average speed? Average speed is total distance upon total time. So what is the distance total? Total distance is 100 plus 100 plus 100 plus 100 because it is moving on the sides of the square. The total distance is 400 kilometers. What is the total time? Total time is 1 plus 1 by 2 plus 1 by 3 plus 1 by 4. So 1 plus 1 by 2 plus 1 by 3 plus 1 by 4. If I take the LCM, the LCM will be 12. Yeah. So 12 plus 6 plus 4 plus 3. So 12 plus 6 is 18. 18 plus 4, 22. 22 plus 3 is 25. So this will be 25 by 12 hours. This will be 25 by 12 hours. Thus, average speed will be, that is speed, which is average. This will be, what is the distance? Distance is 400 kilometers. And what is the time? Time is 25 divided by 12. So this will be 400 into 12 divided by 25. This goes 16 times. And thus the average speed comes out to be 192 kilometers per hour. The average speed comes out to be 192 kilometers per hour, and therefore I can say the correct answer for this question is option C, which is 192 kmph. The next question is saying that the probability that a randomly chosen positive divisor of 10 to the power 2023 is an integer multiple of 10 to the power 2001. So first of all, 10 to the power 2023 can be written as 10 to the power 2001 into 10 to the power 22. I've just separated the powers into two parts because I have to find out the integer multiple of the divisor, which is 10 to the power 2001. Now, I have to find out integer multiple of 10 to the power 2001. So what I'll do, I'll ignore this one. I'll ignore this one because I need factors such that each factor is a multiple of 10 to the power 2001. So what I want is basically, I want this to be a constant value which should be multiplied to every factor. I'll consider to calculate the factors this value on, that is 10 to the power 22. 10 to the power 22 can be written as 2 to the power 22 into 5 to the power 22. Now, every factor of this number, every factor of this particular number, which is 10 to the power 22, when multiplied by 10 to the power 2001 will be a multiple of 10 to the power 2001, because ultimately we are multiplying it by 10 to the power 2001. So even let's say if 1 is coming as a factor, or let's say anything is coming as a factor, if multiplied by this number, it will be a multiple of 10 to the power 2001. Now what is the number of factors for this one? So number of factors will be, again, if it is p to the power a into q to the power b, number of factors is a plus 1 into b plus 1. A plus 1 into b plus 1. So number of factors will be a plus 1, which is 22 plus 1 into 22 plus 1, or I can say 23 ka whole square. So these are my favorable outcomes. We have to find out the probability. So this is my favorable outcomes event. This is my event which will give me the favorable outcomes, which is I want all the factors to be the multiple of 10 to the power 2001. Thus what I did, I took 10 to the power 2001 as common. Now whatever the number remaining was, which is 10 to the power 22, I am finding out the factor, each factor of 10 to the power 22. And for each factor of 10 to the power 22, when multiplied by 10 to the power 2001, the every factor of 10 to the power 2023 will be a multiple of 10 to the power 2001. Thus finding out the factors, it comes out to be 23 ka whole square. Favorable outcomes is this. What will be my total outcomes? Total outcomes will be all the factors of this number. Total outcomes will be all the factors of this number. So if it is, let's say, 10 to the power 2023, it can be written as, since I am finding the total outcomes. Initially I was interested in finding favorable outcomes, now I am finding total outcomes. So 10 to the power 2023 can be written as 2 to the power 2023 into 5 to the power 2023. Thus total number of factors, again p to the power a, q to the power b, number of factors will be a plus 1 into b plus 1. So number of factors will be here a plus 1, which is 2023 plus 1 into b plus 1, which is 2023 plus 1. So 2023 plus 1 plus 20 into 2023 plus 1, this is equal to 2024 ka whole square. Thus the total outcomes will be 2024 ka whole square, and favorable outcomes is 23 ka whole square. If I have to find out the probability says favorable outcomes divided by the total number of outcomes. What is favorable outcomes? It is 23 ka whole square. What is total outcomes? It is 2024 ka whole square. Therefore, the probability will be 23 square divided by 2024 ka whole square, and thus my probability answer will be option D, which is 23 square divided by 2024 ka whole square. The next question is saying, in a triangle ABC, let D be the midpoint of BC and AM be the altitude on BC. Okay, and if the lengths of the AB, BC and CA are in the ratio 2:4:3. The triangle is something like this. This is A, B and C, and the side lengths are 2:4:3. Let's say this is 2K, this is 4K and this is 3K. AB is to BC is to CA is 2:4:3. And AM is the altitude, so let me draw the AM as the altitude. So this is the altitude, and D be the midpoint of BC. So if D is the midpoint of BC, we know AD will be the median. So AD is equal to the median. So AD is the median. So first of all, then the ratio of the lengths of BM and AD would be. So we have to find out the ratio of length this and this, BM and AD. So we have to find out BM upon AD. So first of all, if we apply the Apollonius theorem on the triangle ABC, which is 2 into median square plus 2 into half of the base square is equal to the sum of the squares of the sides of the sides. So the formula goes like 2AD square plus 2BD square is equals to AB square plus AC square. Now if I see what is 2AD square we have to find out. 2BD square, BD is BC is equal to 4x and D is the midpoint, which means BD will be 2x. 2 into 2k ka whole square, this is k. 2 into 2k ka whole square, and AB is 2k ka whole square and AC is 3k ka whole square. Thus 2AD square plus 8k square is equals to 4k square plus 9k square. And thus I can say AD will be equal to under root 5 upon 2 into k. So this is the length of AD. This 2 is also in the whole under root. So under root 5 upon 2 into k. So we have got AD. Now we have to find out the value of BM. So for this, what we will do, we will check the length of AM. We will compare the length of AM. And how we will compare? So we can see this angle is a right angle. So this is a right angle triangle. And this also is a right angle triangle. This triangle is also a right angle triangle. If I apply the Pythagoras theorem on triangle ABM, I can say AM square will be AB square minus BM square. AM square plus BM square will be equal to AB square. So I can say AM square is equals to AB square. AB square is what? 4k square minus BM square, and BM square is BM square. 4k square minus BM square. This is nothing but the Pythagoras theorem. Now in the same, if I apply it on triangle ACM, what I can say, this is my perpendicular, this is my base, and this is my hypotenuse. So hypotenuse square minus base square will be equal to perpendicular square. So again, AM square, which is the perpendicular square, is equals to hypotenuse square, which is 9k square. Hypotenuse is 3k. So 9k square minus what is base here? Base here is 4k minus BM. So our base is this. In this case, our base is this. So our base is what? Base is 4k minus BM. So minus 4k minus BM ka whole square. Now this is also AM square and this is also AM square. We can compare both the values. Thus I can say 4k square minus BM ka whole square is equals to 9k square minus 4k minus BM ka whole square. Thus I'll take this 4k square to the right hand side and this to the left hand side. So 4k minus BM ka whole square minus BM square will be equal to 5a square. Now I can use the property for this, which is a square minus b square can be written as a minus b into a plus b. So a minus b will be 4k minus BM minus BM. This is a minus b. And a plus b will be 4k minus BM plus BM is equals to 5k square. Thus this BM and BM will get cancelled and this k and k will also get cancelled because this is now 4k only. This whole becomes 4k and this k and k gets cancelled, and this will be equal to 4k minus 2bm is equals to 5k by 4. Or I can write 2bm is equals to 4 into 4 16, 11k by 4, and thus bm is equals to 11k by 8. This is the value of bm. What we have to find out? We have to find out the value of bm upon ad. So ad we have find out, ad is root 5 under root 5 by 2 into k. This I can write this as under root 10 upon 2k. I have just multiplied it and divided by root 2. So this becomes root 10 by 2 into k. Thus bm upon ad will be equal to 11k upon 8 under root 10k upon 2. This goes 4 times. So this becomes, and k and k get cancelled. So this becomes 11 upon 4 root 10. Thus I can say bm is to ad will be equal to 11 is to 4 root 10, and therefore I can say option A, which is 11 is to 4 root 10, is the correct answer. Next question says, if a is equals to 1, 2, 3 and a, where a is a real number and determinant of a cube minus 3a square minus 5a is equal to 0, then one of the value of a can be. So we have to find out what can be the value of a. First of all, we have determinant of a cube minus 3a square minus 5a to be given as 0. Now you can clearly see we can take the determinant of a common, because it is an equation which has a determinant common. So we can take that determinant of a common. So if I take this determinant of a common, what I am left inside with is determinant of a square minus 3a minus 5. Since a is taken out, this will become 5i. So determinant of a square minus 3a minus 5a is equal to 0 will be left. Now we need to find out one of the value of a. So for this, either there are two possibilities. Either I can say determinant of a is equal to 0, or I can say determinant of a square minus 3a minus 5i is equal to 0. Now since we need to find out the one of the value of a, what I will do is I will basically use this case first, which is determinant of a is equal to 0. So if a is equals to 1, 2, 3a, then determinant of a will be what? ad minus bc. So ad is a into 1 minus bc is 2 into 3. Thus determinant of a will be equal to a minus 6. Determinant of a will be a minus 6. Now if determinant of a is equal to 0, what I can say is a minus 6 should be equal to 0. This implies that a should be equal to 6. Now since we are worried about only getting the one of the value of a, and we have the option of a is equal to 6, I don't need to check this condition, because since this is a single correct answer type question, so we don't have to check the multiple values. We can go with a square minus 5 minus 3a minus 5 equal to 0. We can check the determinant to be 0 as well. But since we have already find out that value of a is 6 just by using the determinant of a, which is a minus 6, and just comparing it with 0. So thus I can say one of the values of a can be 6, and thus I will say option C is my correct answer. The next question goes, which of the following straight lines are both tangents to the circle x square plus y square minus 6x plus 4y minus 12? So we have a equation like x square minus 6x plus y square plus 4y minus 12 is equal to 0. What I'll do, I'll just add 9 and 4 for this to make it a perfect square in x and y. So x square minus 6x plus 9 plus y square plus 4y plus 4 minus 12 should be equal to, since I am adding 9 and 4 to the left hand side, I have to add 9 and 4 to the right hand side as well. Thus I can say x minus 3 ka whole square plus y plus 2 ka whole square should be equal to, this is 13 and this is minus 12 becomes plus 12 when taken to the right hand side, and this will become 25. So this will be equal to 5 square. So this is the equation of the circle. So a circle whose center is at 3 comma minus 2, 3 comma minus 2, and the radius is 5. Radius is equal to 5. Now we have to find out the equation of both the tangents. So we have to find out equation of both tangents. Let's say from this point there are two tangents drawn. One is this, and let's say this is the second one. Now I know from this point 3 comma minus 2, this distance is 5 and this will be perpendicular. Also from this 3 comma minus 2 to this point as well, this distance, this angle is perpendicular and this distance is 5 because it is the radius of the circle. Now, first of all, what it is? Both these lines are basically the perpendiculars on these lines. Both these lines are perpendicular on these lines whose length is 5. Now if let's say we have an equation like ax plus by plus c is equal to 0 and there is a point h comma k. So from this point h comma k to this line ax plus by plus c is equal to 0. The length of the perpendicular, which is let's say p, length of the perpendicular is given by ah plus bk plus c divided by under root a square plus b square ka whole mod. So this is how you find out the perpendicular distance from a point h comma k on a particular line ax plus by plus c is equal to 0. Now we'll use the same thing, but now what we'll do is basically we'll use the options. So we'll use the options. There are 4 equations given to us: 4x plus 3y minus 19, 4x plus 3y plus 19, 4x plus 3y plus 31, and 4x plus 3y minus 31. What we'll do, we'll apply to all the equations. So 4x plus 3y minus 19 is equal to 0. This is one equation. What is the point? The point is 3 comma minus 2, and from this point on this line the length of the perpendicular should be 5. So from 3 comma minus 2 the length of the perpendicular to any of the lines should be minus 5. What I'll do, I'll find out the length of the perpendicular when from 3 comma minus 2. So it will be 4 into 3 plus 3 into minus 2 minus 19 divided by under root 4 square plus 3 square ka whole mod. So this will be equal to 12 minus 6, which is 6, minus 19, which is minus 13 upon 5. This cannot be the equation. Let's find out the second one, which is 4x plus 3y plus 19 is equal to 0. This implies that 4x is 4 into 3 plus 3y is 3 into minus 2 plus 19 divided by under root 4 square plus 3 square. So 4 into 3 is 12, 12 minus 6 is 6, 6 plus 19 is 25, 25 divided by 5 is 5. So this is basically the condition which I want, that is the perpendicular distance from the point 3 comma minus 2 to a particular point to a particular line should be 5, then it's the tangent. So I can say this is one of my tangent. Now I have 4x plus 3y minus 31. So again equal to 0, this will be equal to 4 into 3 plus 3 into minus 2 minus 31 the whole mod divided by under root 4 square plus 3 square, this ka whole mod. This is equal to minus 31. So this is equal to 4 into 3 12, 12 minus 6 is 6, 6 minus 31 is minus 25 upon 5, which is 5 whole mod, because you are taking the whole mod. So 25 divided by 5 is 5. So I can again say this can be the equation. So first of all, this and this can be the equations of the line. Now if I check 4x plus 3y plus 31, this will be equal to 0, means 4 into 3 plus 3 into minus 2 plus 31 divided by under root 4 square plus 3 square. In this case what will happen, this is 12 whole mod, 12 minus 6, 6 plus 31, so this is 37 by 5, and this is not something which we want. We want the perpendicular length from the center of the circle to the two lines should be 5, so that this they become the tangent. Thus I can say the two equations can be 4x plus 3y plus 19 is equal to 0 or 4x plus 3y minus 31 is equal to 0, and therefore I can say option B, which is 4x plus 3y plus 19 0 and 4x plus 3y minus 31 0 should be the correct answer. The next question says let a1, a2, a3 be three distinct real numbers in geometric progression. If the equations a1 x square plus a2 minus 2a plus 2a2x plus a3 is equal to 0 and b1 x square plus 2b2x plus b3 is equal to 0 has a common root, then which of the following is necessarily true? So if a1, a2 and a3 are in geometric progression, I can say a2 will be equal to a1 into r and a3 will be equal to a1 into r square. So if I substitute these values a3 and a2 in this equation, what I'll get is a1 x square plus 2 into what is a2? a2 is a1 into r. So a1 rx to a1 rx plus what is a3? a3 is a1 r square. So this is a1 r square. This should be equal to 0. Now from this entire equation I can take a1 out. So this becomes a1 x square plus 2rx plus r square should be equal to 0. Now I have this becomes a perfect square. So this will be a1 into x plus r ka whole square should be equal to 0. This is x square plus 2rx plus r square is x plus r ka whole square. So a1 into x plus r ka whole square is equal to 0. Now we have, it is given that a1, a2, a3 are three distinct natural numbers. So I can definitely say that a1 can never be 0. So in order to be this to be justified, that is a1 into some number to be 0, this part should be 0. That is x plus r ka whole square should be equal to 0, and this is only valid when x is equal to minus r. So thus I can say for this equation and for this equation, the common root, it is given that it has a common root, the common root will be x is equal to minus r only. So if I use my second equation which says b1x square plus 2b2x plus b3 is equal to 0. So substitute the value of x is equal to minus r into this equation and I'll get b1 into r square plus 2b2 into minus r plus b3 is equal to 0. Now if we see what are the options given to us. So options given to us is b1, b2, b3 in AP, b1, b2, b3 in GP, b1 upon a2, b1 upon a1, b2 upon a2 plus b3 upon a3 in GP, or this same thing in AP. So what I'll do, I'll take this part to the right hand side. So this will become b1 r square plus b3 to be equal to 2b2r. Okay, so first of all, from this part, I cannot say anything about b1, b2 and b3. b1, b2, b3 is in AP. This is not possible and only possible when r is equal to 1, but we have no other condition like this. So I can definitely eliminate this one. Similarly, for it to be GP, it should be b2 square. b1 into b3 should be equal to b2 square. So I can eliminate the C option as well, that they can never be in GP as well. But now if I see option B and option D, I need A1, A2 and A3. So what I'll do, I'll divide this entire equation by A3. So divide this equation by A3. And instead of R, what I'll do, I'll put, for R square, I'll put A3 by A1. Because if A3 is equals to A1 into R square will be A3 by A1. Similarly, R will be equal to A2 by A1. Because A2 is equal to A1R, so R will be A2 by A1. Therefore, I can say B1, I have to first divide it by A3 and substitute the value of R square and R. So B1 upon A3 into what is R square? R square is A3 by A1. B1 upon A3 into R square is A3 by A1 plus B3 upon A3 is equals to 2B2 upon A3 into what is R? R is A2 by A1. So thus I can write this A3 get cancelled. Thus B1 upon A1 plus B3 upon A3 should be equal to 2B2 A2 upon A1 A3. Now we are clearly given that A1, A2, A3 are in geometric progression. So I can say A2 ka whole square should be equal to A1 multiplied by A3. A2 ka square should be equal to A1 multiplied by A3 since A1, A2, A3 are in GP. So thus I can say instead of this A1, A3, I can write A2 square. So this will become B1 upon A1 plus B3 upon A3 should be equal to 2B2 A2 divided by A1, A3 becomes A2 square. So this will be A2 square. So A2 and this get cancelled and thus I can say B1 upon A1 plus B3 upon A3 should be equal to 2B2 upon A2. Thus I can say this is the condition for AP. So I can say B1 upon A1 comma B2 upon A2 comma B3 upon A3. This should be in AP. This should be in AP and therefore I can say my correct answer is option B, which is B1 upon A1 comma B2 upon A2 comma B3 upon A3 are in arithmetic progression. The next question is given: a rabbit is sitting at the base of a staircase which has 10 steps. If it proceeds to the top of the staircase by climbing either one step at a time or two steps at a time. So the number of ways it can reach the top is, let's say the number of one steps he's taking, the rabbit is taking is A, and number of two steps which rabbit is taking is B. So if it is taking only one step, so it has to cover A steps. If it is taking two steps, then it will cover 2B steps because it is taking for B number of times 2 steps. So the number of steps covered will be 2B. So in this case, number of steps will be A, and in this case, number of steps will be 2B. Now sum of these two, which is A plus 2B, should be equal to 10 because it has to climb 10 steps. So A plus 2B should be equal to 10. Now what are the possible solutions? Possible solutions is A comma B can be either 10 comma 0, that is A is 10, B is 0, or we can have 8 comma 1, or we can have 6 comma 2, or we can have 4 comma 3, or 2 comma 4, or 0 comma 5. Now if I say value of A comma B is, that is there are 10 steps, single steps is 10, 10 comma 0. Single steps is when 10 and double 2 steps is 0. So how many ways are there to basically complete this? There are one way only. It is covering 1 steps at a time and it has to cover 10 steps. So it will be 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1 and 1. So total 10 steps and it can be only one possible case. Now if it is 8 comma 1. So what will happen with 8 comma 1? It will be something like 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1 and 1. Now this 2 can come here as well, or 2 can come at the second step as well, or 2 can come at the last step as well, or 2 can come at the fourth step as well. So if there is 8 steps for 1 and 1 for 2, I have to arrange them. And how I can arrange them is basically, we know if it is A, B, B, number of ways of arranging this is 5 factorial upon 2 factorial into 3 factorial. Number of A's into number of B's. So if there are 8 ones and 1 2, so number of ways will be 9 factorial upon 8 factorial into 1 factorial, which is equal to 9. Similarly, if we have 6 comma 2, 6 comma 2 will be again 8 factorial, since it is something like 1 1 1 2 1 1 2, something like this. So there are 6 ones and 2 2s. So 6 factorial, 8 factorial divided by 6 factorial into 2 factorial. I have to arrange these. Because this 2 can come here, this 2 can come together, this 2 can be farthest apart. So there are multiple ways for it. And this is 8 factorial divided by 6 factorial into 2 factorial, which is equal to 28. Then we have 4 comma 3. So 4 comma 3 again similar, there are 4 ones and 3 2s. So this will be equal to 4 plus 3, which is 7 factorial divided by 4 factorial into 3 factorial. Similar logic which we used previously, and this is equal to 35. Then we have 2 comma 4. So 2 ones and 4 2s, again 6 factorial divided by 2 factorial into 4 factorial, similar logic, and this is 15. Then we have 0 comma 5. So again 10 comma 0 can also be written as 10 factorial divided by 10 factorial. 0 comma 5 can be written as 5 factorial divided by 5 factorial. 5 factorial divided by 5 factorial, which is 1. Also if there are all 2s, let's say if it is something like 2 2 2 2 2, there is only one way to arrange this. Thus total number of ways will be 1 plus 9 plus 28 plus 35 plus 15 plus 1. So this is 10, 60, 88 plus 1, 9, 89. So there are 89 ways in total. There are 89 ways in total, and therefore I can say option D, which is 89, is the correct answer. The next question says the minimum number of times a fair coin must be tossed so that the probability of getting at least one head exceeds 0.8. So probability of at least one head should be 1 minus probability of 0 heads or no heads. So what is the probability of no heads? Probability, let's say there are n coins tossed. Probability of head is 1 by 2, and probability of no head, which is probability of tail, is also 1 by 2. It can be either head or tail. If it is no head, that is it is tail, the probability is 1 by 2. Now if I say there are n number of trials and I want 0 heads, that is I want something like t for all the n tosses. My probability of this will be 1 by 2 to the whole power n. Probability of no head or probability of all the coins to be tail will be 1 by 2 into 1 by 2 into 1 by 2 into 1 by 2 up till n times if I am tossing the coins for n time. So the probability of no head or probability of all tails will be 1 by 2 to the whole power n. So this will be equal to 1 minus 1 by 2 to the whole power n. That is probability of at least one head is 1 minus 1 by 2 to the whole power n. It is given that this value exceeds 0.8. So which means this value is greater than 0.8. So 1 minus 1 by 2 to the whole power n should be greater than 0.8. If I further solve this up, this will be equal to 0.2 is less than 0.5 to the whole power n. Now 1 by 2 is 0.5. I'll substitute the values of n to see whether which of the following is satisfying the condition. So if I put n is equal to 1, and since I have to find out the minimum number of trials, so I have to find out the n minimum. So if n is equal to 1, this is 0.2 greater than 0.5. This is not true. Then we have n is equal to 2. So 0.2 is greater than 0.5 whole square is 0.25. So again this is not correct. If I put n is equal to 3, this is 0.2 greater than 0.5 whole cube is 0.125. Now this is correct. 0.2 is definitely greater than 0.125 when n is equal to 3. So I can say n is equal to 3. This will be the minimum value. because at n is equal to 2 it is not satisfying the criterion. So n is equal to 3 will be the minimum value, and therefore I can say option D, 3 is the correct answer. The next question is saying, consider an 8 cross 8 chessboard. Number of ways 8 rooks can be placed on the board such that no 2 rooks are in the same row or no 2 are in the same column as well. So we have a chessboard. So this is a chessboard. It is 8 cross 8 chessboard. The number of ways 8 rooks can be placed on the board such that no 2 rooks are in the same row is. So let's say I place a rook here. Let's say I have to place one rook in the first row. So in first row, how many options are there? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So for the first rook, I have 8 options. Let's say I place the first rook here. Now if I place the first rook on the third column of the first row, what will happen? I cannot place any rook here. I cannot place any rook in any of this same row or same column. Now this cross ones are something where I cannot place any of my rook. Now let's say for the second row, I have to place a rook. Now if I cannot place it in the cross one, so let's say I placed it somewhere here. So how many options I had? I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. So thus for the second rook I had 7 options. Now if I placed it here, it cannot come here, it cannot come here, the another rook cannot come here, the third rook, this one, and also in column this cannot be used. Now if I take the third row, now let's say if I have to place him in row number 5, if there can be a doubt that I am going chronologically, that I am going to first row, second row, third row. Let's say I have to place the third rook in the 5th row. So let me place the third rook in the 5th row. So third rook, let's say I cannot use these two values. So how many options I have for the third rook? For third rook I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If I am not placing it, if I am placing the third rook in the 5th row. So I have for the third rook I have 6 ways. Let's say I placed it here. So if it is here, this cannot be filled. Like this will be crossed because no 2 rooks can be either in the same row or same column. Now let's say 4th rook I have to place it in last row, which is this one. So how many options I have? I have 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. There are 5 options for me. So 8 into 7 into 6 into 5. Let's say I placed it here. So again similarly these cannot be used. Now I have to place my, let's say 5th rook in the 4th row. It can be in any random row. That's why I'm taking any of the random rows. Now how many options I have? I have 1, 2, 3 and 4. I have 4 options in which these rooks can be placed. So 8 into 7 into 6 into 5 into 4. Let's say I placed it here. So thus it cannot come here, 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 and this column is also blocked. Now I have to place my 6th rook in this particular row, let's say. So I have 1, 2 and 3. 3 options are there. So 8 into 7 into 6 into 5 into 4 into 3. Let's say if I place it here. Now again this cannot be filled and this cannot be used. Now 7th rook I have to place somewhere here. How many options I have? I have 1 and I have 2. So 2 options are there, and let's say I have placed it here. So I cannot place my rook here and I cannot place my rook here. Now I have to place my last row in this row, and there is only one option for this to be placed. There is only one option for this to be placed. So thus there is only one way of placing the last row. Thus this is the number of ways in which I can place my rooks, my 8 rooks, in a way that none of them are in the same row or same column. You can clearly see in this diagram there are no rooks which are in the same row or the same column. Thus this is equal to, which is 8 into 7 into 6 into 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. This is the number of ways, and this is equal to 8 factorial. So thus the number of ways of putting 8 rooks on the chessboard such that none of the 2 are in the same row or in the same column is 8 factorial, and therefore I can say option C is the correct answer. The next question is saying, let a, b, c be real numbers greater than 1. So a, b, c are greater than 1, and n be a positive real number not equal to 1. If log n log 2a is equal to 1. So log 2a base n is equal to 1. Log base n log b base 2 is equal to 2, and log n log base n log c 2 base 2 is equal to 3. So I can write, first of all I can just simplify this. This can be equal to log a to the base 2 is equal to n, and thus log a is equals to 2 to the power n. Then log b to the base 2 is equal to n square, and thus I can write b is equals to 2 to the power n square. Similarly, log c to the base 2 can be written as n cube, and thus c can be written as 2 to the power n ka cube. Now we have a, we have b, and we have c. Now which of the following is true? We have to find out which of the following statements or condition is true. Now a plus b is equal to c. We can clearly see that a plus b is equal to c is never possible, because a is 2 to the power n and b is n square and c is n cube. So a plus b is equal to c is never possible. Also a to the power n plus b to the power n, c to the power n, it is also not possible, because ultimately what it will become is 2 to the power n square, 2 to the power n cube, and 2 to the power n 4. So sum of this to be equal to this is also very less likely. Only for certain value of n this can be possible, and also this might not be possible as well. Now we have b minus a to the whole power n and c minus b. Again, if this is possible, so b minus a will be equal to 2 to the power n square minus 2 to the power n the whole n, to be equal to c minus b. So c minus b will be 2 to the power n cube minus 2 to the power n square. Now if I solve this left hand side part, this will be equal to, if I take 2 to the power n common, so this will be equal to 2 to the power n square minus n minus 1 to the whole power n, and this 2 to the power n square, because this n will be powered as well. Now if I take this right hand side, I can take 2 to the power n square common. This will be equal to 2 to the power n cube minus n square minus 1. Now I can clearly say this and this values are not equal. These two values are not equal, so thus I can reject option C as well. Now I am only left with a to the power n plus b ka whole power n should be equal to a into c. So let me just check this. A to the power n will be equal to 2n to the whole power n, which is equal to 2 to the power n square. So thus I can write a to the power n plus b will be equal to a to the power n plus b ka whole n will be equal to 2 to the power n square plus 2 to the power n square ka whole n. This will be equal to 2 to the power n square plus 1 ka whole n, and thus an plus b ka whole to the power n, an plus b to the whole power n will be equal to 2 to the power n cube plus n. This is my left hand side. Now let me check the right hand side, which is a into c. What is a? A is 2 to the power n, so 2 to the power into, and 2 to the power n into c is 2 to the power n cube, so 2 to the power n cube. So this will be equal to 2 to the power n cube plus n. So a n plus b ka whole n is 2 to the power n cube plus n, and a into c is also equal to 2 to the power n cube plus n. Both I can say, both of them are equal, and thus I can say a to the power n plus b to the power 2 ka plus b ka whole power n should be equal to a into c. This is my correct answer, because this is the condition which is true, and therefore option B is the correct answer. The next question is saying if the difference between the compound interest and simple interest for a certain amount of money invested for 3 years at an annual interest rate of 10% is INR 527. So let's say principal is P, rate of interest is 10%, and time is 3 years. Now it is one is for the simple interest and one is for the compound interest. So for simple interest, the formula is P into R into T divided by 100. So what is P? P is P. We have to find out. We have to find out the amount invested, which is I have to find out the principal amount. What is R? R is 10. So P into 10 into what is T? T is 3 years. So P into 10 into 3 divided by 100. This will be equal to 0.3p. Thus the simple interest scheme will give me 0.3p. Now what is my compound interest? The compound interest is given by the formula P into 1 plus R by 100 to the whole power T minus P. This is how you get the compound interest value, because this is the value which is amount after T years. Now amount after T years minus the principal amount will give me the interest amount. So thus I can take P into what is R? R is 10. So 1 plus 10 by 100 to the whole power 3 minus P. Now 1 plus 10 by 100 is 1.1 ka cube, and 1.1 ka cube is 1.331. So P into 1.331 minus P. This will be equal to 0.331p. So this is my simple interest and this is my compound interest. Now difference between the two is given as 527. So the difference between the interest is given as 5227. So now I know compound interest value is more. So 0.331p minus 0.3p should be equal to 527. Thus solving this up, I'll get 0.031p should be equal to 527. I'll remove this decimal, I'll multiply it by 1000. So 31 and 527, this is 1, and 217, this is 7. So principal amount will be equal to 17,000 rupees. Thus, if I invest 17,000 rupees in simple interest and compound interest schemes in two different schemes, and the rate of returns is 10%, and for 3 years, the difference will be 527, and therefore the principal amount is option C, which is rupees 17,000. The next question is saying if the harmonic roots of the equation 5 plus under root 2x square minus bx plus 8 plus 2 root 5 is equal to 0 is 4. Harmonic mean is 4. What is the harmonic mean? Harmonic mean of the roots is 4. Let's say the roots are alpha and beta. These are the two roots, alpha and beta. So what will be the harmonic mean of the roots? Harmonic mean of the roots will be 2 times alpha into beta upon alpha plus beta. Now this is equal to 4. Now can we find out the value of alpha beta and alpha plus beta? Yes, because we are given the equation. Ultimately we have to find the value of b. So alpha into beta is c upon a, and what is c? This is c, 8 plus 2 root 5, and this is 8. So 8 plus 2 root 5 divided by 5 plus root 2. And what is alpha plus beta? Alpha plus beta is minus b upon a. Now what is b here? B here is minus of minus b. So this will become minus of minus b upon a is 5 plus root 2. So this will become b upon 5 plus root 2. Now we will substitute the value of alpha beta and alpha plus beta in our harmonic mean question. So we have alpha beta is 8. So 2 into 8 plus 2 root 5 divided by 5 plus root 2. Upon what is alpha plus beta? It is b upon 5 plus root 2. This is given as 4. So this goes 2 times. This 5 plus root 2 and 5 plus root 2 get cancelled. And even if I can remove this 2, and this will become 4, and this will be root 5. So thus if I take only b is left here, and if I take b to the right hand side, this will become b is equals to 4 plus root 5. B is equals to 4 plus root 5, and therefore I can say option D is the correct answer. The next question is saying let greatest integer denotes the greatest integer not exceeding x, and fractional part is x minus greatest integer of x. So fractional part of x is x minus greatest integer of x. If n is a natural number, then the sum of all values of x satisfying the equation 2 greatest integer x plus n into fractional x. So 2 greatest integer of x plus n into is equals to x plus n into fractional part of x. What is fractional part of x? It is x minus greatest integer, so I will substitute it here. So 2 into greatest integer of x is equals to x plus n into x minus greatest integer of x. That implies 2 into greatest integer of x is equals to x plus nx minus n into greatest integer of x. I can take this to the left hand side, so this will become n plus 2 into greatest integer of x is equals to n plus 1 into x, and thus I can say x can be equal to greatest integer of x multiplied by n plus 2 divided by the n plus 1. So this is the values of x. This is what value x can take. Now if I say x is any value, now if we see what are the values of x that x can take. So x can take any real value. Now if I ask about the greatest integer, so greatest integer will always be, let's say x is 2.73. So greatest integer x will be 2. Let's say x is 4.61. Then greatest integer of x will be 4. Greatest integer of x will always be a natural number. Greatest integer, even if I say let's x is 5.73 or 5.84, 5.8, the greatest integer of x will always be 5. So for any value of x, the greatest integer will always be a natural number. Thus I can say the values greatest integer of x can take is 1, 2, 3, 4 up till n. So the values that greatest integer of x can take is 1, 2, 3, 4 up till n, 5, 6, 7, 8, all the natural numbers. Thus if I have to say what are all the values that x can take, x can be equal to n plus 2 upon n plus 1, where when greatest integer of x is 1, or n plus 2 into n plus 2 divided by n plus 1, or 3 into n plus 2 divided by n plus 1, or 4 into n plus 2 divided by n plus 1. So this is what x values can take, because greatest integer of x will always be a natural number. We have to find out sum of all values of x. Sum of all values of x. So this is equals to n plus 2 plus 2 into n plus 2 plus 3 into n plus 2 plus 4, and this goes on till n natural number. So I can take n plus 2 upon n plus 1 as common, multiplied by 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus dash dash up till n natural numbers. Now sum of first n natural numbers is n into n plus 1 by 2. Thus I can write this as n plus 2 upon n plus 1 multiplied by n into n plus 1 divided by 2. Now this n plus 1 and n plus 1 get cancelled, and thus I am left with, what I am left with is n into n plus 1 by 2. Thus I can say sum of all values of x, which is n plus 2 upon n plus 1 or 2 into n plus 2 upon n plus 1, or all the basically integer multiples of, positive integer multiples of n plus 2 upon n plus 1. The sum of all will be n into n plus 2 by 2. So this is n plus 2 because n plus 1 is cancelled. So this is n into n plus 2 divided by 2, and thus I can say option C, which is n into n plus 2 divided by 2, is the correct answer. The next question given is, if a plus b upon b plus c is equal to c plus d upon d plus a, which of the following statements is always true? So we have to find out always true statement. So what I'll do, I'll just simply solve this equation. I'll take this to this side and this to this side. So this will become a plus b into b plus a should be equal to b plus c into c plus d. B plus c into c plus d. So AD plus a square plus BD plus BA is equals to BC plus BD plus c square plus CD. Thus now solving this, BD gets cancelled, so I'll just remove BD. What I'll do, I'll take c square to the left hand side. This I'll take to the left hand side, and BA and AD I'll take to the right hand side. So this equation will become something like a square minus c square is equals to BC minus BA plus CD minus AD. So DC minus DA. Solving this further, it will give me a minus c into a plus c should be equal to b into c minus a plus d into c minus a. Now a minus c into a plus c, this should be equal to, what I'll do, c minus a, I'll take common and I'll make it a minus c. So c minus a will be equal to minus of a minus c. C minus a will be equal to minus of a minus c, and I'll take this common. So this will be equal to minus of a minus c multiplied by b plus d, because c minus a I had taken out common and this I have written as minus of a minus c. Now I'll take this to the left hand side. So this will become a minus c will be common again, and this will be a plus c plus b plus d is equal to 0. So what I am trying to say is a minus c multiplied by a plus b plus c plus d should be equal to 0. So this is our simplified equation. This initial fraction, the initial fraction is basically simplified to this value, which is a minus c multiplied by a plus b plus c plus d is equal to 0. Now there are two possible cases for it. Either a minus c should be equal to 0, that implies a should be equal to c, or a plus b plus c plus d should be equal to 0. Both can be 0 as well, but either of the two needs to be true, that either a should be equal to c so that this becomes 0, or a plus b plus c plus d, that is sum of all four values is equal to 0, then also the entire equation becomes 0. So thus these are the two possible conditions which satisfies this equation, which is a is equal to c, or a plus b plus c plus d is equal to 0, and thus I can say the correct answer, it is always true when a is equal to c or a plus b plus c plus d is equal to 0. The next question is saying the set of all real values of x satisfying the inequality x square into x plus 1 upon x minus 1 into 2x plus 1 ka whole cube is greater than 0. So our equality is x square, inequality is x square into x plus 1 divided by x minus 1 into 2x plus 1 ka whole cube, and this should be greater than 0. Now firstly, if I see on this x square, anywhere for any value of x, x square is always greater than or equal to 0. X square will always be positive. Thus I can just remove this term. I don't need to consider this because this will always give me a positive number. So I don't have to consider about this part. So what is the only part which is left is basically x plus 1 upon x minus 1 into 2x plus 1 ka whole cube should be greater than 0. Now x, all these three can be positive as well and can be negative as well. Let's say if x is equal to minus 5, then all the three values will be negative. Now we have to check whether it will be greater than 0, the entire result will be greater than 0 or not. So thus, that's why I removed x square, because x square will always be greater than equal to 0. I have to just keep this in mind, that x cannot be equal to 0. Because if x is equal to 0, this will be equal to 0. I need values which is greater than 0. So x cannot be equal to 0, otherwise everything is fine. X square will always be a positive number. Now at what points x will be equal to 0? At which of the following points x will be 0? So x will be 0 at x is equal to minus 1, or x is equal to 1, or x is equal to minus 1 by 2. So these are the 3 points at which x value will be 0. Now what I'll do, I'll plot this on the number line. So this is my number line. This is minus 1, minus 1 by 2 and 1. And similarly, how we find out the solutions is basically we consider this as positive, this as negative, this as positive, and this as negative. And then we'll look at the inequality. If it is greater than 0, then we'll look at the positive region. If it is less than 0, then we'll look at the negative region. Now in this we can see it is greater than 0. So we have to take only positive region. Thus this will be, positive region is this one to this, and minus 1 to minus 1 by 2. So x can be minus 1 comma minus 1 by 2 union 1 to infinity. So this can be the possible values of x, minus 1 to minus 1 by 2 union 1 to infinity. These are the possible values of x. And therefore I can say the correct answer will be option A, which is minus 1 to minus 1 by 2 union 1 to infinity. The next question is saying, in a chess tournament there are 5 contestants. Each player plays against all the other exactly once. No games result in a draw, so there is no draw in the game or no tie. The winner in a game gets 1 point and the loser gets 0 point. Which of the following sequences cannot represent the scores of the 5 players? So in this, so let's say the 5 players are A, B, C, D and E. The possible 5 games will be AB, then AC, then AD and then AE. Then we have BC, BD and BE, CD and CE, and then we have DE. So these are the 10 games, 5C2, basically these are the 10 games which will happen. Now, if I directly look at the options, which I can eliminate, which option can be eliminated? If you see at option C, so option C is saying 2 players are getting 4 points. So which means that there are 2 players who are winning 4 matches. There are 2 players who are winning 4 matches. Now, is this possible? Let's say I consider that A is winning this game, 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 and A is winning this game. So what is the number of points? A is winning 4, losing 0. So winning 4, losing 0. So he can get 4 points. Let's say A got 4 points and B also got 4 points. As per this option, which is option number C. So A got 4 points, B got 4 points. Now B can get 4 points. If B and C B wins, B and D B wins, B and E B wins. But you can see in the match between A and B, A win. So this is definite that B will win 3 games and he will definitely lose 1 game. So thus he can reach at max 3 points. There cannot be 2 players with 4 points because there are only 4 players other than the player including himself. Now, if 2 players are 4 points, it is like they are defeating each other. Like A is defeating B and B is defeating A, which is not possible. It is a hypothetical situation. Either A will win or B will win. So what will happen? A can score 4 points, B can score 3 points, but it is never possible that both of them can be scoring 4 points, and therefore I can say option C is the sequence which is never possible. A can win 4 games, yes, and he can. There can be 1 player who can get 4 points, but there cannot be 2 players who can get 4 points. There can be 1 player with 4, 1 player with 3, but both with 4 is never possible. Other than these, if we see 3, 3, 2, 1, 1, this is possible. 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, this is also possible, and 3, 2, 2, 2 and 1, this is also possible. You can just consider this diagram and basically draw a table for this, and all of these scenarios will be something which you will see that these are possible. The first A, option B and option D are the scenarios which are possible, but option C is something which scenario is never possible. 2 teams cannot win 4 points. 1 team at max can win 4 points, and if it has won 4 points, the second maximum can be 3. It cannot be 4. So therefore I can say option C will be the correct answer. The next question is saying, if cos alpha plus cos beta is equal to 1, then the maximum value of sin alpha minus sin beta is. So cos alpha plus cos beta should be 1. What I'll do, I'll square both sides. I will square both sides, so I'll get cos square alpha plus cos square beta plus 2 cos alpha cos beta should be equal to 1. Now cos square alpha, I can write this as 1 minus sin square alpha. So thus this will be 1 minus sine square alpha plus 1 minus sine square beta plus 2 cos alpha cos beta should be equal to 1. This 1 and 1 get cancelled, and I'll take minus sine square alpha and minus sine square beta to the right hand side. So this will become 1 plus 2 cos alpha cos beta should be equal to sine square alpha plus sine square beta. Now I need the value of sine alpha minus sine beta. So ultimately I might need the value of sine alpha minus sine beta ka whole square. If I want to convert this part to sine alpha minus sine beta, the only easiest way is basically convert it to sine alpha minus sine beta ka whole square. Now in order to do that, what I have to do, I have to subtract 2 sine alpha sine beta from both sides. 2 sine alpha sine beta from both sides. So this will become 1 plus 2 cos alpha cos beta minus 2 sine alpha sine beta should be equal to sine square alpha plus sine square beta minus sine alpha sine 2 sine alpha sine beta. Sine square alpha plus sine square beta minus 2 sine alpha sine beta. Now we have 2 cos alpha cos beta minus sine alpha sine beta. This is equal to 1 plus 2 into cos of alpha plus beta, and the right hand side will be equal to sine of alpha minus sine of beta ka whole square. So this is the equation which we are getting. Now we have to find out the maximum value of sine alpha minus sine beta. If we have to find out the maximum value of sine alpha minus sine beta, we have to find out the maximum value. We can definitely say that this cos alpha plus beta should be maximum. This implies that cos of alpha plus beta should be maximum. Cos of alpha plus beta should be a maximum value. Then only we will get the sine alpha minus sine beta as maximum, because this is 1 plus 2 into something which is being added to 1. So if I want the maximum value of sine alpha minus sine beta, I have to take the maximum value of cos alpha plus beta. What is the maximum value of cos alpha plus beta? For any cos, the maximum value is 1. The maximum value is 1. So thus I can say, solving this further, I can write sine alpha minus sine beta is equals to under root of 1 plus 2 into cos of alpha plus beta. Now I have to find out the maximum value of sine alpha minus sine beta. Max, this will equal to under root 1 plus 2 into cos alpha plus beta maximum is 2 into 1. Thus sine alpha minus sine beta maximum value will be 1 plus 2 into 1 is 3, so under root of 3. Thus the maximum value of sine alpha minus sine beta will be under root of 3, and therefore I can say option D, root 3 is the correct answer. Next question is saying a polynomial px leaves a remainder 2 when divided by x minus 1 and a remainder 1 when divided by x minus 2. So first of all, what does remainder theorem says? If px is divided by x minus a and leaves remainder b, p of a is equals to b. So similarly, a polynomial x leaves a remainder 2 when divided by x minus 1. This means that p of 1 should be equal to 2 and a remainder 1 when x divided by x minus 2. So p of 2 should be equal to 1. We have the remainder when px is divided by x minus 1 into x minus 2 is. So in polynomial division, the remainder is always 1 degree less than the divisor. 1 degree less than the divisor. Now what is the divisor in this case? Our divisor is x minus 1 into x minus 2. So our divisor is x square minus 3x plus 2. So if my divisor is of the degrees of second degree, this is second degree term. If my divisor is second degree term, my remainder will be a 1 degree term. So if it is x square, this divisor is of the degree 2, my remainder will be of degree 1. Thus what I'll assume remainder as a of x plus b. I'll assume this as my remainder, ax plus b as my remainder, because my divisor is x square minus 3x plus 2. So second degree polynomial it is. So my remainder will be a first degree linear equation, which is ax plus b. Now ax plus b, so this is my remainder. So when x is equal to 1, remainder is 2. Thus I can say a plus b, if I just put the value of x is equal to 1 over here, so I'll say a plus b should be equal to 2. Now it's clearly given that when x is equal to 2, that is x is equal to 2, remainder is 1. So again I'll put the value of x is equal to 2, this will give me 2a plus b should be equal to 1. Now this is my first equation, this is my second equation. If I do 2 minus 1, this will be equal to 2a plus b minus a minus b, so b will get cancelled and this will become a is equal to minus 1. If I put a is equal to minus 1 in this equation, I'll get b is equal to 3. A is equal to minus 1 will give me b is equal to 3, and thus the remainder will be of the form, since ax plus b, so a is equal to minus 1, so minus 1 into x plus 3, which is equal to 3 minus x. So 3 minus x will be the remainder of this equation, and therefore I can say option A, which is 3 minus x, is the correct answer. The next question is given: in a group of 120 students, 80 students are from the science stream and the rest are from the commerce stream. It is known that 70 students support Mumbai Indians in the Indian Premier League and all the other students support Chennai Super Kings. The number of science students who are supporters of Mumbai Indians is. So let's say I'll draw the table like this. So we have Mumbai Indians, so this is MI and this is CSK, and we have commerce, science and commerce, and this is the total column, so this is total and total. Now it is given 80 students are from the science stream, so 80 are from the science stream means 80 are this, and there are total 120 students. 120 is the total and 80 are from science, which means the rest 40 are from the commerce. Similarly, 70 students support Mumbai Indians, so 70 are supporting Mumbai, thus 50 will be supporting Chennai Super Kings. Now if I assume the number of students who are supporting Mumbai Indians from the science stream is A, if I just say that this is A, what will this value be? This value will become 80 minus A. If this is A, this value will definitely become 80 minus A, because the sum of total number of science students is 80. So if A are supporting Mumbai Indians, 80 minus A will support Chennai Super Kings. Similarly, if I see at this column, if science students are A and total supporters of Mumbai Indians is 70, I can definitely say that commerce people will be 70 minus A. This means science students who are supporting Mumbai Indians is A, then the remaining 70 minus A will be the commerce students who are supporting Mumbai Indians. Now again, if I look at this column, there are total 40 students, and out of those 40, 70 minus A are supporting Mumbai Indians. 40 students in commerce and 70 minus A are supporting Mumbai Indians, so the rest will be supporting CSK. And what are the rest number of students? It is 40 minus 70 minus A. So this will be A minus 30. This will be A minus 30. Now if I look at this column, if I add these two values, this will become equal to 50. Now if we carefully look at this, we have all of these four values, which is this one, this one, this one and this one. All of these four values should be greater than or equal to 0. Thus I can write A should be greater than or equal to 0, 80 minus A should be greater than or equal to 0, 70 minus A should be greater than or equal to 0, and A minus 30 should be greater than or equal to 0. Thus A greater than or equal to 0 will give me the same thing. 80 minus A greater than or equal to will give me A less than or equal to 80. 70 minus A greater than or equal to 0 will give me A less than or equal to 70, and A minus 30 greater than or equal to 0 will give me A greater than or equal to 30. Now if I plot this on the number line, so I have 0, I have 30, 70 and 80. One is saying A should be greater than or equal to 0, which means it should go something like this. Rest is saying A less than or equal to 80, which will go something like this. Then we have A less than or equal to 70, something like this. And we have A greater than or equal to 30, which is something like this. So if I see the common part of this of all these four inequalities on the number line is basically this part. This part is being covered by all the 4 inequalities. Thus I can say the value of a can be greater than equal to 30 and less than equal to 70. The value of a can be greater than equal to 30 and less than equal to 70, and therefore if I have to find out the number of students, number of science students who are supporter of Mumbai Indians, which is A, and it should be greater than 30 and less than equal to 70. Number of science students who are supporting MIS should be greater than 30 and less than 70, and the only option which satisfies is 30 or more. The next question is given that let p be a positive integer such that unit digit of p cube is 64. Okay. So first what we have to do is basically we have to check out the unit digits of each. So let's say if there is any number whose unit digit is 1, and if we cube it, the unit digit will for the resultant number will be 1. Similarly for 2, if we cube it, it is 8. If for 3, if we cube it, this is any number whose resultant number will have unit digit as 7. Similarly for 4 ka cube, we will have a resultant number with unit digit 4. 5, resultant number with unit digit 5. Then we have 6, resultant number will have unit digit 6. Then for 7, if we cube it, the resultant number will have 3 as the unit digit. Then for 8, if we cube it, the resultant number will have 8, into 8, 4 into 8 is 32, 2. So this will be 2. For any number with unit digit 9, the resultant digit will be, this will always be 9. You can consider 9 cube is 729. For this you can consider 8 cube is 512, so you can see the unit digit is 2. For 9 cube it is 729, so the unit digit is 9, and if it is ending with 0, the unit digit will always be 0. Now we have, what we are given is that the unit digit of p cube is 4. So in which case we are seeing unit digit as 4. Only in this case we are seeing unit digit as 4. Otherwise we have 187563290. But only in this particular case, which is when a number ending with unit digit 4 is cubed, it is giving me 4 as the unit digit. So I can say this will be my p value. P will be any number whose unit digit is 4. What are the possible unit digits of p plus 3 ka whole cube? So what are the possible unit digits of p plus 3 ka whole cube? Now this is, if this is p, what will be p plus 3? If this is any number, let's say 7754. If this number is 7754, p is 7754, p plus 3 will be 7757. If p is, let's say 14, then p plus 3 will be 17. So the entire digit, all the digits remain the same. It's just that 4 becomes 7. So p plus 3 will be same number with unit digit as 7. P plus 3 will be a number whose unit digit is 7. Now we have to find out the possible unit digits of p plus 3 ka whole cube. So p plus 3 whole cube will be number whose unit digit is 7 ka whole cube. A number whose unit digit is 7 ka whole cube. And if for any number whose unit digit is 7, the whole cube will always give me a resultant number with unit digit 3. So this will be some number with unit digit 3. The resultant number will be some number which is whose unit digit is 3, and therefore I can say p plus 3 ka whole cube unit digit will be 3, and therefore only option A is the correct answer. The next question is saying if a 3-digit number is chosen at random, what is the probability that it is divisible neither by 3 nor by 4? We have to find out the numbers which is neither divisible by 3 nor by 4. Now what are the total 3-digit numbers? 3-digit numbers are from 100 till 999. Total 3-digit numbers are 100 till 999. So total outcomes will be 999 minus 100 plus 1. So total number of outcomes will be 900. This is my total outcome, that there are 900 numbers which are 3-digit numbers. We have to find out our event is it should not be divisible by 3 and it should not be divisible by 4 as well. So what I'll do, I'll create a Venn diagram for this. So this part represents number which are divisible by 4, and this part represents number which is divisible by 3, and this represents this common area which is divisible by 3 and 4 both. 3 and 4 both. So common region is 3 and 4 both. What are the numbers which are divisible by 3? So numbers that will be divisible by 3 will be 102, 105, 108 up till 999. So these are all divisible by 3. And what are the total number of these numbers? This is 999. So an is equal to a 102 plus n minus 1 into what is d here? The difference is 3. So this will be 3. So thus I can say 897 divided by 3. So n will be 300. So total number of numbers which are divisible by 3 is 300. Total numbers which are divisible by 3, total 3 numbers which are divisible by 3 is 300. Now what are divisible by 4? So divisible by 4 will be 100, then 104, then 108 up till 996. So thus same formula, an is equal to a plus n minus 1 into d. So 996 is equal to 100 plus n minus 1 into 4. This is 896 divided by 4, which is 224. So n will be equal to, or I will m, I'll use this as m should be equal to 225. Thus the total 3 numbers which are divisible by 4 is 225. Now we have to find out the numbers which are divisible by both 3 and 4. Now what are these numbers which are divisible by 3 and 4 both? All these numbers will be numbers which are divisible by 12, because we have to consider the LCM of 3 and 4. So total numbers which are total 3 numbers which are divisible by 3 and 4 both, or which are divisible by 12, is basically divisible by 3 and 4, 3 and 4, or divisible by 12, 3 and 4, or divisible by 12. Basically these numbers will be 108, then we have 120 up till we'll have till 890, sorry, 12 up till 996. Again similarly this will be 996 is equal to a, which is 108, plus let's say this is p minus 1 into 12, because the common difference is 12 here. So again this will be 888 divided by 12, which is 12 7 is 84, which is 48, 48 left, 74. So p will be equal to, p minus 1 will be 74, or p is equal to 75. So the numbers which are divisible by 3 and 4 both is 75. So there are in total 75 numbers which are divisible by 3 and 4 both. So there are these 75 numbers which are divisible by 3 and 4 both. What are the total 3-digit numbers which are divisible by 3? It is 300. Now 75 are already there. So the numbers which are only divisible by 3 is 225. Because this 300 represent all the numbers which are divisible by 3. So this includes the 75 plus 225, which is 300. But these 75 are divisible by 4 as well. So we cannot consider this in the only divisible by 3 part. Now we have to find out all the numbers which are divisible by only by 4. So this will be equal to 225, 75. This is 225 total. So this will be 150. These 150 numbers will only be divisible by 4. Therefore, if I draw this Venn diagram again, so this is my entire data set of 3-digit natural numbers, which is of 900. 3-digit natural numbers which are 900. Now this is 2 diagrams, divisible by 3 and divisible by 4. Now there are 225 numbers which are divisible by 3 only, 75 which are divisible by both 3 and 4, and there are 150 numbers which are divisible by only 4. Remaining of these 900, so 900 minus 225 plus 75 plus 150, this is equal to 450. 450 numbers, 3-digit numbers, are neither divisible by 3, nor by 4. Neither divisible by 3 nor by 4. So this 450 are the numbers, 3-digit numbers are neither divisible by 3 nor by 4, and thus this 450 will appear favorable outcomes. What is probability? Probability is favorable outcomes divided by the total outcomes. Thus what are the favorable outcomes? It is 450. And what is the total number of outcomes? It is 900. So favorable outcomes divided by total outcomes, this will be 450 divided by 900, which is 1 by 2. Thus the probability of any 3-digit number which is neither divisible by 3 nor by 4 is 1 by 2, and therefore I can say option D, which is 1 by 2, is the correct answer. The next is a DLR. It's kind of a reasoning set. We have to fill a table in it, and on the basis of table there are 5 questions which are asked. So this question is saying a pharmaceutical company has tested 5 drugs on 3 different organisms. The following incomplete table reports if a drug works on the given organism. For example, drug A works on organism R while B and C work on Q. So A works on R and B and C works on Q. This is given in this table, that A is working on R and B and C works on Q. Each drug works on at least one organism but not more than 2 organisms. So what I'll do, I'll draw this table again. So I have this drug which is A, B, C, D and E. and we have this organism which is P, Q and R. So A, B, C, D, E are the 5 drugs and P, Q, R are the 3 organisms. Now we have each drug works on at least one organism but not more than 2 organisms. So each drug A, B, C, it is A, B, C, D, E, it can work on one organism at least but not more than 2. So every row can have either 1 tick or 2 ticks. Every row can have either 1 tick or 2 ticks. Why? Because R, so first of all, this is given that A works on R and B and C works on Q. Now, it is clearly given that each drug works on at least one organism but not more than 2. Thus, if at least one, which means it should work on at least one organism, and drug cannot work on more than 2 organisms. So this number of ticks in each row can be at least 1 and at max 2. So number of rows in each ticks can be either 1 tick should be there or 2 ticks should be there. There cannot be a case when all are crosses or when all are ticks. So first condition is done. Second condition says each organism can be treated with at least 2 and at most 3 of these drugs. So all these P, Q and R can be treated with at least 2 and at most 3 drugs. At most 3 drugs. Thus what does this mean? Is each column can have either 2 ticks or 3 ticks. Each column can have either 2 ticks or 3 ticks. Why? Because it is clearly given that every organism can be treated with at least, it can be treated with at least 2 drugs. Let's say for Q, it is B and C already has a tick, but at most 3 drugs. At least 2 is the minimum count, which is 2 is the minimum count, and at max 3. So thus for each column, that is which is the organism column, we can have either 2 ticks or 3 ticks because it is treated by either at least 2 drugs or at most 3 drugs. So if second condition is true as well. So we have to remember row can have either 1 tick or 2 tick and column can have either 2 ticks or 3 ticks. On whichever organism A works, B also works. So on whichever organism A is working, B is also working. So I can clearly see on organism R, A is working, so B will also work. So on organism R, A is working, so B will also work. Now it is clearly given that row can have either 1 ticks or 2 ticks. Now there are already 2 ticks, so I can definitely put, say, I can put a cross over here, or I can say B does not work on organism P, because each drug works on at least 1 or at most 2 organisms, so B cannot work on P. Similarly, it is further given that on whichever organism C works, D also works. So if it is C is working, D is also working. So I can see for Q, if Q is on organism Q, drug C is working, and it is given that D will also work, so this will also work. So C and D both are working on Q. Now each column can have either 2 ticks or 3 ticks, because each organism can be treated by either 2 drugs or 3 drugs. So I can put a cross over here that Q cannot be treated by A or E because it is at least 3 and at most at least 2 and at most 3 drugs. D and E do not work on the same organism. So D and E do not work on the same organism. This means that if this is a cross, this is a tick, or if this is a tick, this is the cross for all the. So this can be cross, tick, tick or cross. But it cannot be tick for both the cases. It cannot be a tick, that D and E cannot be a tick for both the cases or cross for both the cases. Now if I consider this again, if on which organism A works, B also works. So I can see for on P, B is not working. So thus I can definitely say that A will also not work, because if A works, then B will also work. If A works, then B will also work, but it is clearly given that B is not working. We have find out because for B it is working on Q and R, so it cannot work on P. So if B is not working on P, then it should not work on A as well, because if it works on A, then it should work on B as well. So thus I can put a cross over here. Now on P only, if I check the drug D and drug E, so drug D and E do not work on the same organism, which means if D is a tick, E should be a cross, or if D is a cross, E should be a tick. These are the only 2 possible cases. If D is a tick, E should be a cross, and E is a tick, then D should be a cross. Let's say D does not work on organism P and E works on organism P. D does not work on organism P and E works on organism P. This is our assumption. So if I say D does not work on E, but it is clearly given that on whichever organism C works, D also works. So if I say D is not working, then it should be definite that she should also not work. If D is not working, then C should also not work, because if C will work, then D will also work. If this is a tick, then this will be a tick as well, which is not possible, because I am saying that D is not working, because E is working, so then D and D both will work, so which is not the case. So thus I can definitely say D is not working, C will also not work. But can you say this case is possible? It is clearly given that in column either 2 or 3 ticks should be there, but there is only one tick. There is only one tick. It should be at least 2 or at least 2 and at most 3, because each organism can be treated by either 2 drugs or 3 drugs. So I can say this will just falsify my conditions, it will contradict my this condition number 2, and therefore I can say my assumption that D works on P and E, sorry, D does not work on P and E works on Q will be false. Now, initial condition was D works on, D does not work and E works. If I say D works and E does not work, if I say D works and E does not work, will this satisfy? Now this can be satisfied. Why? Because I need at least 2 ticks. I need at least 2 ticks. So I can put a tick over here. Why? Because if C works, then D also works. It can be a case that it can be cross as well. If C does not work but D works, it can be a possible case. But we need 2 ticks. We need 2 ticks in a column. So thus I can say this will be a tick. That's C and D will work on P. Now if this is tick, this is tick, this is tick, this is tick, we can have in each row we can have either 1 or 2 ticks. Now there are already 2 ticks, so this will be a cross, this will be a cross. And for E, if I said there is at least either 1 or 2 ticks, so this will be a tick, because there are already 2 crosses. So for E it will be a tick. So this is our final table. This is our final table for A, B, C, D, E, P, Q and R. Now let's look at each question one by one. First question says drug D works on. So we'll go to the previous table. Drug D works on P and Q. Drug D works on P and Q, and therefore I can say option D, which is P and Q, is the correct answer. Then the second question is saying organism P can be treated with. So we'll go back to the table. P can be treated with C and D. P can be treated with C and D, and therefore I can say only C and D, which is option D, will be the correct answer. Then the third question is saying organism R can be treated with. So again we'll go back to the table. R can be treated with A, B and E. So R can be treated with A, B, E. So these are the 3 drugs on which R can be treated, and therefore I can say option B, which is A, B and E, will be the correct answer. Then drug E works on. So drug E works on. I'll go back to the table again. Drug E works on R. Drug E works on R, and therefore I can say drug E works on only R, which is option A is the correct answer. Then we have the organism that can be treated with 3 of these 5 drugs. So we have to find out 3 of the 5 drugs. So we have to find 3 ticks in a column. So we have to look for 3 ticks in a column. Now which have 3 ticks in a column? Organism Q has 3 ticks in a column, 1, 2 and 3. Also organism R also has 3 ticks in a column. So both Q and R organism can be treated with 3 drugs. For Q it is B, C, D, and for R it is A, B and E. Therefore I can say for Q and R they can be treated with 3 of these 5 drugs, and therefore option D, Q and R, is the correct answer.